blessed good morning, honorable members, and those under the sound of my voice. Today, I join in with the psalmist in declaring, I will praise the Lord all of my life. I will sing praise to my God as long as I live. In our Moments of Impact devotional segment, today I will be sharing a devotional entitled Endurance. Endurance, I believe, is one of the most important qualities a leader in the 21st century must possess in order to lead effectively. A leader with endurance has stamina, staying power, fortitude, perseverance, persistence, and tenacity. Having endurance is important because the reality is life is not a bed of roses and comes with its fair share of complexities, disappointments, setbacks, and roadblocks. Life can sometimes throw some curveballs at you and leave you reeling to find your bearing. Today, though, I stop by to encourage each of you under the sound of my voice to remain firm, remain fixated, and resilient in your efforts to carry out your vision and action plans despite what you are facing. I stop by to say today, don't get discouraged or despondent because what you are pursuing is taking too long to materialize. Exercise a little patience. God will see you through. Isaiah 40:31 says, but they that wait upon the Lord, he shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They will run and not get weary. They will walk and not faint. And so I admonish each of you under the sound of my voice to continue to work every day on your aspirations, and don't you dare give up or give in. Galatians chapter 6, verse 9 says, and let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. And so I want to prophetically declare to each of you today that you are on the verge of your due season. And so continue to plant seeds, continue to water them. One day they will produce a harvest. In conclusion, let me hasten to remind each of you that success doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes you have to keep trying and trying and trying until you become successful. Sometimes in the face of despair, in the face of despondency, you have to keep trying. And so today, I brought a little prop for you in the form of this WD-40 can. Now this product all of us have seen before. All of us have either purchased it or used it in our homes, in our vehicles, or something of that magnitude. This product has multi-purpose use. It can serve as a lubricant. Also, it can be rust prevention. I have this in my hand today because the WD-40 company has a story that epitomizes the essence of endurance. This US-based company, which started around the mid-1900s, made 39 attempts to create a water displacement formula, but was unsuccessful for 39 times. It wasn't until the 40th attempt the perfect formula was created. Hence the abbreviated name, WD-40, which really stands for Water Displacement 40th Formula. If they had given up on the 39th time, the product WD-40 would have never made it to the market. This is what endurance looks like. And so I leave you with this final thought. Anytime you feel like giving up, pick up a can of WD-40, and it will serve as a reminder never to stop until you become successful. Selah, think and act on these things. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we magnify your name. We declare from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, your name is worthy to be praised. Lord, today we pause to thank you for being our refuge and our strength. our very present help in the time of trouble. Father, we pray today, Lord, for your continued blessings upon our nation. We pray, Lord, that you will endow us with systems and strategies and policies to advance our country forward. We pray today, Almighty God, for your peace to be on our streets. Father, we ask that you would rid our streets of crime and violence and bloodshed. We pray today, Almighty God, for a spiritual awakening in every sector of our society. We pray, Lord, that a fresh wind will blow upon our nation. And so we thank you in advance for hearing our prayers. We thank you also, mighty God, for our parliamentarians today. And we ask, Lord, that you would give them stamina, give them staying power, give them fortitude, give them perseverance. We pray, God, for their persistency and their tenacity as they manage their portfolios. Give them new strength, Almighty God. Give them wisdom and patience to run the race that is set before them. Undergird each of them today with your might and your power. And Almighty God, we ask that you would superintend the affairs of this house today and continue to bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Let us pray the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Honorable members, at the suspension, we were debating a compendium of bills as it relates to the budget debate. I presume that we are now ready. The chair recognizes the honorable member for Central and South Eleuthera.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. When Bishop Williams was speaking, I was wondering when he was talking about that WD-40 if he was talking about me. You know, when you run twice, and you come the third time, and you speak about endurance, and you speak about making sure that you work hard to get, and, you know, 15 years later, you represent Central and South and a minister in the Davis administration. That was so fitting this morning. But today I rise on the occasion grateful for life, health, and strength. And I would like to thank the member for Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador, the Prime Minister, for the opportunity to serve in his cabinet, and also the awesome constituents of Central and South Eleuthera for their continued support, and whom I'm honored to represent. I'm also grateful for the support of my family, my wife Delia, and especially my courageous, brave WD-40, one-of-a-kind son, David. My wife, Delia, and I are also forever grateful to my team that in our absence, they executed the most successful Mother's Day event to celebrate the wonderful mothers of Central and South Eleuthera. Our guest speaker, Ms. Ruby Ann Cooper-Darling, freedom fighter and deputy to the Governor General, made an impact and powerful impression on the mothers throughout the constituency, and I extend my sincere thanks and appreciation for your presentation. Madam Speaker, I pray for the day that I can stand in this place and declare that our constituency has only good report and that there is no sorrow. But God has other plans. And with that said, I wish to offer prayers and condolences to the families of the members of Central and South Eleuthera constituency who have gone on to glory, and on behalf of my wife Delia and I, to Kathleen Lisa Comer Guinea, John Sands, Kingsley Cooper of Rock Sound, Ulrich Nixon, formerly of Wims's Bight, Luke Roll of Wims's Bight, Ethel Knowles of Tarpon Bay, Albin Johnson, and Edwin Griffin of Governor's Harbor. May their souls and that of all the dearly departed rest in peace and rise in glory. Madam Speaker, I would also like to take a minute to recognize Mr. Lyman Neely, who finds himself all over social media for his unselfish and kind-hearted nature. A taxi driver by profession, Uncle Lime, as he is affectionately called, is a pillar in the community of Lower Bow. He has been supportive of me and my political endeavors from day one, and even though I am not his representative, he continues to call me and check up on me, and recently stopped by my office to encourage me to continue to strive for excellence. I would like to publicly salute him for being the kind-hearted person that he has always been, helping others without a second thought, and encourage others to follow in his gigantic footsteps. We certainly need more people like Uncle Lime as we continue to foster love and unity. And when we say tourism is everybody's business, people like Uncle Lime are the ones who carry the banner. Madam Speaker, over the past 2.5 years, we have made many great accomplishments within the constituency of Central and South Eleuthera as we strive to restore and revitalize our economy. I am so pleased I have the opportunity to use my platform to ensure that the work continues and that Central and South Eleuthera is represented, that every project that is implemented uplifts and empowers the residents of the island. I am profoundly privileged to have the opportunity to rise in this honorable House and speak to the budget debate for 24-25. And you see, Madam Speaker, these debates sometimes fail to speak to the theme so amply established for this year's vision by our Prime Minister and the good member for Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador. The theme, Madam Speaker, is changing the status quo. And the information I present today aligns with this theme and also speaks to the advances that this Davis administration continues to make towards improving the lives of every Bahamian. It is understood that the status quo means that we all of us accept the normal practice of how things are done. We go along with the program and don't want to ruffle any feathers. Accepting the status quo means that we are comfortable with the way things are. We will be complicit in keeping it that way. Madam Speaker, mediocrity is the only outcome of accepting the status quo. There's no benefit. It will yield no tangible results. However, this administration was duly elected to enact policies and enact change to usher in a new day for the Bahamian people. Madam Speaker, the mandate has been set out for this administration from the inception of our term. I encourage the general public to revisit our blueprint for change to see that from day one, our goal was to interrupt the status quo and to create a new trajectory for our great nation. This blueprint is evidence that this administration was and is deliberate about its mandate to ensure the opportunity, empowerment, and relief is our legacy. Madam Speaker, it is said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. It is undeniable that in the past 2 years and 7 months, this administration has indeed begun to accomplish great strides, and we are definitely doing things differently. Madam Speaker, when we talk about how we are changing the status quo, let me start with me. I'm from Spanish Wells in North Eleuthera, and I represent the great constituency of Central and South Eleuthera. So if you know anything about Family Islands, you know that this is an anomaly, not often accepted. However, for over 25 years, this constituency has not had representation by a substantive cabinet minister. Now, for the average person, this might not mean much, but to Family Islands, the evidence is clear. It's a stark difference between us and them, Madam Speaker. They never thought Eleuthera deserved a cabinet minister, Madam Speaker. Always backbenchers, Madam Speaker. We have been able to negotiate housing developments and land transfers from one entity to another to provide housing with the help of the Minister of Energy and Transport, the former Minister of Housing, Honorable Jobeth Colby Davis, the establishment of businesses and manufacturing for Bahamians. Madam Speaker, people continue to say that there is a housing crisis in Eleuthera as long-term rentals are few and far between. But forever the optimist, I say, Eleuthera as a housing opportunity. I have petitioned Eleutherians and descendants of Eleuthera to carpe diem, seize the day, return home, invest home, and benefit from the economic surge now being experienced through advocacy and progressive policy. Madam Speaker, I advocate for and cause to come to fruition the construction of new highways on Eleuthera. Over the past 2 years, the complaints emanating from the constituency has been the poor state of the roads. And since then, we have implemented a patching program that has been extremely successful. Madam Speaker, though it was met with much opposition and ridicule, especially on social media, there was a harrowing call for the complete overhaul of the roads, and even criticism that we haven't maintained the schedule. And Madam Speaker, the proof is in the pudding, and this administration is changing the status quo. You see, Madam Speaker, we are giving the Eleutherians what they deserve. As envisioned, the construction of the brand-new state-of-the-art asphalt plant began in April. The final raw materials and products arrived on the island yesterday, and right now, as I speak, they are being offloaded in Eleuthera. Eleutherians deserve that, Madam Speaker. In a matter of days, the plant will begin processing that material to make the asphalt, and very soon, Central and South Eleuthera, the work on the actual roads will begin. To my constituents and visitors to our shores, I beg your patience with us during this process. There will be some discomfort, a whole lot of slowing down, and some diversion of traffic as we work together to provide you with roads that you can be proud of, roads that you deserve, roads that will no longer be a detriment to your vehicles and your safety. And while our predecessors and those opposite criticize, and they do a whole lot of that, I would like to remind them that the people of Central and South Eleuthera deserve that. Under the prior administration, no striping, no cat eyes, pitch patch road. We are giving them what they deserve, Madam Speaker. Sometimes there's criticism for not moving fast enough at times because we as Bahamians, myself included, sometimes you want things done immediately. But as much of those of us, especially members in this place, coming from a background in business, we would all like to snap our fingers and undo the trauma of the past or wave a magic wand and propel us into the future. The reality is that change is progressive. It takes time, and we must exercise diligence and caution to ensure that the decisions we take today are decisions that we can live with for a lifetime and for generations to come. I must add that the Bahamian people expect nothing less than due diligence and prudence from this administration. We're not magicians, but we are focusing on changing the status quo. For the people of John Millis and Bannerman Town, they have not seen major upgrades within their communities in decades. Madam Speaker, I am constantly advocating with my colleagues to ensure that I can come to this place and announce to my bosses, my constituents, that we are addressing their issues. And I have a whole lot of that in this speech, Madam Speaker. I believe I might have 30 to 40 minutes of the things that this administration has accomplished in Central and South Eleuthera alone. So today I'm proud to share that John Millis now is an illuminated community powered by installed solar lighting, and for far too long their needs have not been addressed. Administrations have come and gone only to deem it too costly to provide infrastructure for such a small community. But they are Bahamians too, Madam Speaker, so we're changing the status quo. We're finding innovative ways to provide the basic necessities, just as this administration did with Ragged Island, when those before insisted that Ragged Islanders uproot their lives, their memories, abandon their homesteads and their birthright. Now look at Ragged Island, Madam Speaker. They got a brand new terminal, work is going on. This same approach, Madam Speaker, is being taken for John Millis and Bannerman Town. In short order, you will see major upgrades to provide for the delivery of piped potable water to your homes. Madam Speaker, I stand in this honorable House today proud to say that efforts to change the status quo in Central and South Eleuthera is not just an illusion. It's not a song and dance. It's not fancy speeches. It is tangible change and progression. A few weeks ago, I made a declaration in this honorable place, and it's a mantra that drives my dedication to my constituents who do not need grandstanding. They don't need glossy words. They require one thing, Madam Speaker, just results. So changing the status quo in Central and South Eleuthera has brought considerable upgrades. Brand new airport for the first time in 50 years. You see, that side didn't care about Central and South Eleuthera. The introduction of new international airlift to Governor's Harbor, and the complete reconstruction of the departure and air arrival terminals. The change we envision will see that the community docks, James Siston, Tarpon Bay are addressed, and continue the installation of fishermen facilities in multiple communities. Upgrades to government buildings in Governor's Harbor, Tarpon Bay, Greencastle, and Deep Creek. Madam Speaker, changing the status quo means the establishment and strengthening of a healthcare system to provide medical attention in the event of emergencies and for those who cannot afford the option of private care. This, Madam Speaker, has been unrealized for decades, only advanced by the Progressive Liberal Party's administration, then halted under the stop, cancel, and review regime. You see, they didn't care about Eleuthera, Madam Speaker. They didn't think Eleuthera deserved a multifunctional healthcare facility.
No, they not.
They came in this place with big posters, poking fun of what the former PLP administration had in plans for Central and South Eleuthera. The side opposite has a long, long history of placing the basic needs of the people, especially family islanders, on the back burner. But this administration is wholeheartedly working to improve the lives of Bahamians throughout this archipelago. I would like to thank the member for Tall Pines for ensuring that this facility will start construction in the next few months. It's what they deserve, Madam Speaker. Eleuthera people deserve that. Changing the status quo in Central and South Eleuthera means reinvesting in education, building additional school blocks for growing populations. It means negotiating with the private sector to invite local and international universities to recruit and provide scholarships to our talented students right where we live to ensure all students, regardless their economic status or background. Madam Speaker, changing the status quo means establishing the first Family Island campus of BTVI to provide the opportunity for residents to access technical, vocational training right at home so that we can advance the level of trained professionals and technicians. This initiative is a game changer when one actually considers what expenses a family islander would have to incur to further their education and training. Madam Speaker, as I mentioned earlier in my contribution, Eleuthera's once stagnant economy is rebounding. This effort provides the opportunities to strengthen our workforce and prepare them for the many opportunities that are on the way. Changing the status quo means that investors, both local and foreign, are negotiating with your representative because we can do what we need to advance their projects from incubation to achievement. Central and South Eleuthera, your Member of Parliament is at the table and fighting for you because, Madam Speaker, it's what they deserve. Changing the status quo means a revival of the farming industry where we can collaborate and research innovative ways to integrate new technology to improve how we feed ourselves and maintain healthy communities. Not just in word, Madam Speaker, but in deed. It means establishing a dedicated office for the Department of Agriculture in Eleuthera. It means building a community greenhouse, cultivation centers, community kitchens. It means investing in systems to teach our current and future farmers. It means greenhouses in high schools throughout the constituency to ensure that we educate and inform through theory and practice to change the stigma of farming, inspiring our students to consider agricultural science as a viable career choice. Changing the status quo means that the improvement of facilities in our communities that some may consider as insignificant are now a priority and being addressed. Madam Speaker, what makes our family island so special so that we all have our own identity, our own signature, our own culture. And it's no different when you move from one community to the next. There is no one size fits all, but I am pleased to share that as we work to change the status quo, Central and South Eleuthera, our parks are being refurbished, especially the softball field in James Cistern, as we continue to honor our strong softball heritage. Our park at Governor's Harbor that becomes a basin during heavy rains and inclement weather. You will see much needed upgrades to the stalls and electrical system. Our track at Preston Aubrey High is receiving much needed improvements to be a true center for training our future athletes to surpass the achievements of our global superstars in sports. Madam Speaker, we want to ensure that Central and South Eleuthera has world-class facilities to honor its abundance of natural talent, and this administration's investment in sports is second to none. Madam Speaker, changing the status quo is providing solar lighting to an entire community. It's making advances in communities that have been dismissed for years, providing Wi-Fi on the public parks to ensure that every student has access to the internet to complete their studies. Changing the status quo is recognizing that the entire constituency should have access to you and to services that can benefit them without a considerable hassle. Madam Speaker, many might not appreciate that while our colleagues here in New Providence, in Grand Bahama, and some other islands have but a small radius to represent, the constituency of Central and South Eleuthera spans approximately 70 miles and 13 communities. So it is difficult sometimes for constituents to come to the office, especially as I am only in the constituency for 2 days out the week, and normally they are already booked for events and meetings in various locations. So, Madam Speaker, my office is now gone mobile, and I will unveil this office in a matter of weeks. This office is in keeping with this administration's focus on climate change. The office is already equipped, actually, with solar panels, 20 kW of batteries, Starlink mobile Wi-Fi, fully air-conditioned, all retrofitted into a sleek and modern office space. Madam Speaker, we are changing the status quo in almost every initiative. After more than 15 years of negotiations, community meetings, and deliberations, we will finally establish a new public cemetery in Roxal. So as we speak, work has commenced. The tractor is preparing the land. The beautification of the site will begin upon the completion of the earthworks, and residents will have the peace of mind when laying their loved ones to rest. Madam Speaker, I want to be clear. Under the previous administration, without a substantive minister at the helm, they could not even get this to the completion stage. Changing the status quo is investing in our young people by launching innovative programs like the reintroduction of junior local government programs to help to nurture our future leaders. This program is already yielding tangible results as students deliberate, they plan, and they execute community development projects as a testament to their potential in national service. Madam Speaker, changing the status quo means a commitment to supporting our national sport, investing in the education of sailing, boat building, and national competition within our youth. By the way, Madam Speaker, I'm not bragging, but changing the status quo means that Eleuthera can show up to an entire regatta and Georgetown Exuma.
Go ahead and Brian. Don't be ashamed.
On its first E-class attempt, last sailing boat on the vessel, and to win in every category. I must take this time to congratulate our brave young sailors, Team Sugarloaf, and the Eleuthera Sailing Academy on their amazing showing and success story, which inspired Eleutherans to join the Sugarloaf movement. Madam Speaker, I must also add that if you go to Eleuthera and you ask them, they'll say the Sugarloaf won the whole regatta. Madam Speaker, I heard that. Madam Speaker, changing the status quo in Central and South Eleuthera is not a fairy tale or a pipe dream. We have been changing the status quo. Our communities we deserved the opportunity to grow, and we are doing just that. Madam Speaker, these are only a few of the initiatives that we have accomplished in our efforts to change the status quo. Track the record. These accomplishments are aligned with our blueprint for change. Madam Speaker, rest assured that in the constituency of Central and South Eleuthera, we will not accept the business as usual excuse. We will not conform to how things have always been done. And these accomplishments are only but the beginning of even more goals to be accomplished within the constituency. Before I begin my presentation on the accomplishments and objectives of my ministry, Madam Speaker, allow me to speak to some of the initiatives being undertaken by my colleagues, and how these unconventional initiatives are indeed game changers for Eleutherans and Family Islanders across the country. Madam Speaker, for decades, the entire island of Eleuthera, from Bannerman Town in the south to Arbor Island in the north, has experienced levels of power outages that are unimaginable. Compounding the situation is the lack of backup power generation at the water plants and the communications companies. If the power outages are extended, there is no water, no telephone, no internet, and cable services. And even after the power is restored, sometimes these services are delayed in restoration. Madam Speaker, residents are concerned about the frequent outages. And earlier in my presentation, I said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over, but expecting different results. And this is true for the management of the power plants throughout the island. Madam Speaker, for decades, we have continued to pack at the problems, implement temporary measures, and provide fewer and fewer resources. For decades, Family Islanders were an afterthought, with no real attention given to the development of their economies or infrastructure. But the status quo has changed, Madam Speaker. The Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, and the Minister responsible for Family Island affairs are all representing Family Island seats. Therefore, you should expect that a major focus of this administration will be on improving the status of these islands, islands that have noticeably lagged behind others. Madam Speaker, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas includes 7 islands and keys, and as a government, we should focus our efforts to ensure equitable development of every island, regardless of population or size. So as we change the status quo, we must ensure that every Bahamian has access to opportunity, empowerment, and a comfortable way of life throughout our efforts. Madam Speaker, with that being said, I'd like to take this opportunity to applaud my colleagues, the Member of Parliament for Elizabeth and the Member of Parliament for Cat Island, Rum Cay, and San Salvador, as earlier this week they addressed some major concerns for the residents of Eleuthera and many Family Islands. That is the government's plan to re-energize the energy sector through the groundbreaking efforts to launch the new energy era. Madam Speaker, outlined in the plan is a clear indication that insanity has finally ended. No longer will we pack at the solutions to the problems, but we are implementing innovative strategies that drive change towards progress, towards the holistic building of a nation for the next 50 years. Changing the status quo is usually not the easy road. Typically, changing the status quo can be described simply as grabbing the bull by the horns, ripping the Band-Aid off, and making the hard decisions. Madam Speaker, the entire world is evolving and redefining their energy sectors by redoing the over-reliance on fossil fuels. This can only be accomplished by diversifying the production of energy, utilizing LNG, solar technology, upgrading transmission and distribution methods to stabilize the grid, and providing a reduced cost of electricity, all while staying true to our climate change goals. This, Madam Speaker, is changing the status quo. And at the same time, while doing all of this, taking the bull by the horns, changing the status quo, the member for Elizabeth and the Prime Minister has found ways to lower our electricity bills starting July, while implementing July. You didn't see the flyers yesterday? 1st of July. July 1st. Bring it to the house. Table it. Table the bill. Table the bill. Table the bill. But, you know, to be able to change the energy sector, to lower the bill at the same token is commendable. No more lip service, Madam Speaker. No more compounding an issue while solutions are right at our fingertips. It is only sensible in a country that is well renowned for its sunshine to develop a comprehensive plan to harness the great resource to bring relief to consumers while lessening our carbon footprint and reducing our reliance on fossil fuel. Madam Speaker, I can attest that the constituents of Eleuthera, and by extension the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, welcome this effort with optimism and overwhelming support. We look forward to the implementation and the development of the new energy era as we continue to change the status quo. Madam Speaker, for more than 25 years, the economic centers on Eleuthera were concentrated in and around Governor's Harbor and Harbor Island. Employment outside these areas were few and far between. Small businesses and entrepreneurs were barely making ends meet. And for decades of election cycles, people were promised jobs and opportunities where very little materialized. The member for Golden Gate shared that the unemployment rate is the lowest it has been for nearly 20 years. And now, as we have been effective in our commitment to you, the national unemployment rate continues to decline. Madam Speaker, permit me to boast a little, as I can say again that the unemployment is no longer an issue for Central and South Eleuthera. I remember growing up, the persons in South Eleuthera used to catch black crab and come to Spanish Wells to sell them, and that was their way of making money. You can't even find a black crab anymore. Nobody don't have time for crabbing. Huh? They relocate. They working. They working. They working. 1 week ago, Caribbean Paving Solutions hosted a well-advertised job fair to find local employees as a road work project expected to commence within a week. 9 people, Madam Speaker, showed up to the job fair. 9 applicants out of everybody in Central and South Eleuthera. Everybody working. Everybody working. If you drive around Central and South Eleuthera, and that's what bothers me when I see the opposition comes in there and talk all this foolishness, running on, this ain't happening, this is the most lackluster budget they ever seen. But the facts are in the pudding, Madam Speaker. No one in Central and South is hogging the blocks. You can't find nobody on the side of the road anymore. In fact, early in the mornings, you can see young people, middle-aged people, older people gathered at designated stops as transportation to and from many job sites is provided. Every month, flyers are distributed as employers are seeking to increase and replace their workforce. As many persons are leveraging their skills and finding employment with newly established companies or in new ventures. Madam Speaker, changing the status quo is evident throughout the constituency by simply observing the sheer numbers of new businesses that are emerging and that are successful. Madam Speaker, at this time, I'd also like to congratulate Disney Cruise Lines on their spectacular unveiling to the community about 2 weeks ago, and since then they've welcomed their first cruise ship, the Disney Magic. And to add to that, a number of notable Bahamian creatives, artisans have their talent on display at Lookout Key, the newest Disney destination at Lighthouse Point. The grand display of Bahamian culture was met with enthusiasm by passengers, and there are a multitude of good reviews on the internet. You see, Madam Speaker, if we were conducting business as usual, we would have found a creative way to back out the deal with Disney or stall the project. You see, that's what that side would have done, Madam Speaker. But this administration, this ain't no stop, cancel, review administration. No way. We recognize that there are efforts that benefit the people of the Bahamas. These are the efforts that we build on. Governments are continuous, and we see the completion because we are changing the status quo. With the opening of Lookout Key, we see and look forward to the upgraded developments of Half Moon Key and Princess Key. We look forward to the continuation of the development of Cotton Bay, Jacks Bay, Cape Eleuthero, wind development, and a few other projects that have expressed interest in Eleuthero in the very near future. You see, Madam Speaker, tourism was suffering. The pandemic created a high dependency on the NIB fund, and companies were unable to keep their doors open. Fast forward to today, only 2 years and 9 months in, and tourism numbers are shattering annual records of the past, setting new benchmarks, and then shattering them again. So how are we doing this? We are not accepting the ordinary and expecting to reach the same demographic. We are reinvesting in travel to take our product to the world. Yes, we are traveling. We are engaging with investors from around the globe to bring new businesses and investors here. $8 billion in investments throughout our country, and inclusive of the Family Islands, inclusive of Eleuthero. Yeah. Madam Speaker, changing the status quo is a record-breaking numbers of tourist arrivals, not only in New Providence, but throughout the Family Islands. Madam Speaker, we have to book my travel to get to Eleuthero 6 weeks in advance. If we make adjustments to the travel schedule, we end up having to make miracles happen just to get me on a flight when we have 3 airports in Eleuthero. Flights are booked almost every day in Rock Sound, Governor's Harbor, and North Eleuthero. I go by boat too, I ain't scared about that. What the song say? I'm a boatman? I'm a seaman? Why this should be a point of rejoicing for the entire island. People still complain because they're inconvenienced and can't fly as casually as they used to. But that, as I may, with another shameless plug, Madam Speaker, I'm calling on all airline carriers to look into investing into stopping into Eleuthero. We don't have an airlift problem. We have an airlift opportunity. Madam Speaker, as the minister responsible for Family Islands, I congratulate the good member for Exuma and Unregulated Island and his entire team as we look to the future. And in that future, we are focused on the collaborative development of Family Island airports and tourism products. Just this week, we met to discuss the start and completion dates for Family Island airport development. And you heard the member for Exuma and Unregulated Island and the member for Michael announce some of the airports, which include Marijuana, Inagua, Deadman's Key, Long Island, North Eleuthero, Cat Island, Black Point, and with the continuation of Bimini, Georgetown, and Governor's Harbor. Yes. Madam Speaker, the other side often has a lot to say about travel. But what they don't say is that they sold an airport for $1 that ended up costing us $2 million. Wow. And now we got to fix that. And do you remember, and this dawned on me yesterday, do you remember when they had us locked down and when people traveled and you had to pay for a travel visa to get back in your own country? I remember that. That still baffles me. I get angry just thinking about it. I mean, paying to get back in your own country, and you want to talk about travel?
We fixed it.
We fixed it right away. Right away. Actually, we eliminated the visa right away. There's no rhyme or reason, Madam Speaker, but that you can't even make that make sense. But we're different than them. We opened the economy. We eliminated the cost for the travel visa. We eliminated the travel visa. We offered free testing. And now we can boast about unemployment and the tourism numbers. Yeah. Madam Speaker, our country is once again hosting major sporting tournaments right here, bringing thousands to our shores, and we are reaping the benefits. Our investment in sports extends beyond the capital. The member for Garden Hill shared that in this upcoming budget, at least $1 million will be invested in sporting facilities or activities throughout the Family Islands. The people of the Family Islands are indeed happy to hear of these advances in sports. Madam Speaker, we have set the benchmark for progress throughout our family of islands. I was hands-on for the grand opening and dedication of the gym in South Andros. What was baffling is that this multi-purpose facility is and was clearly needed for the development of South Andros, and it seemed to go stagnant under the former administration. That's okay, Madam Speaker. We know how to finish, we know how to start things, and we know how to finish things. It is incomprehensible that any administration would punish people for political reasons. But the people of the Bahamas demanded a new day. We are indeed delivering on that and changing the status quo. Madam Speaker, I spoke about the advances in energy. Allow me a moment to congratulate my colleague for South and Central Andros and the member for North Eleuthera for building on the momentum to see the infrastructural projects for the provision of potable water throughout the country come to fruition. We are different than them, Madam Speaker. Instead of rolling up their sleeves and formulating a plan that works for the Bahamian people, I'm not sure if it was non-payment or if it was a bullying tactic, but just before election in 2021, the water provider announced, decided to shut off water in South Eleuthera, said because nobody wanted to talk to them.
Bad negotiation.
Nobody wanted to talk to them. They had a meeting. Nobody wanted to talk to them. So the situation now is because nobody wanted to talk to them. Nobody wanted to talk to them then, right? They signed another bad deal just before election to make sure that when people voted, at least they could use the restroom when they went and voted. But that still didn't work. Central and South Eleuthera won by 600 votes, and we're going to win by more this time. But like the member for Axuma said yesterday, we got a botched deal,
You can fix it.
but we can fix it. We are going to give the people of Central and South Eleuthera what they deserve. So it was simply music to my ear to hear them say that the corporation is investing in alternative energy and backup power generations to maintain the delivery of water in spite of power outages. On behalf of the good people of the entire island of Eleuthera, we welcome this investment. And we most certainly look forward to the completed water storage facilities in Harbour Island, upgrades in Spanish Wells, the completion of new tanks at the Navy base in Governor's Harbour, and in Lower Bogue. Additionally, the corporation is investing millions on the upgrades and installation of new water mains throughout Cat Island, and Abaco, Acklands, Barratary, Black Point, Georgetown, Eleuthera, and of course, South and Central Andros. Madam Speaker, this is a serious investment in the upgrades to utilities throughout our country. Madam Speaker, there is no doubt that my colleagues on this side are working in their respective areas, ticking off accomplishments in our blueprint for change. You see, Madam Speaker, the record will reflect that our contractual obligation to the people of the Bahamas is laid out in the progressive plan in our blueprint for change. We recognize that the vision of our forefathers has brought us to this point in our country. While many countries around us are not in a favorable economic state, we can see that their unwavering commitment to establishing systems for us in healthcare, education, the tourism, the financial sector, and governance has brought us here. 51 years of good standing. Our blueprint for change is but the building blocks on a strong and steady foundation. We are positioning our country to adapt to the global changes around us and to build on progress. We cannot do this by being mediocre or passive. We are doing this through innovation and teamwork. Madam Speaker, I now turn to the advances in the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs. This year, the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs continues our mission to build a more connected, resilient, and prosperous Bahamas. As we have the fundamental responsibility for infrastructural planning and development for the entire nation. This includes the construction and the maintenance of all airports, roads, bridges, docks, ports, and stormwater drains, which are all on the list of priorities. Infrastructure is fundamental to public safety and to resiliency. It is a precursor for economic growth. Madam Speaker, just a few months ago, almost every news outlet and social media story was littered with complaints about the many potholes, busted tires, vehicle damages, all throughout New Providence.
Calling you out.
Now, they're going to think there is many potholes. You're welcome. Changing the status quo is implementing an aggressive pothole patching program to provide short-term immediate relief. Changing the status quo, Madam Speaker, is signing contracts with 7 different Bahamian companies to pave roads throughout the capital. I want to ensure every Bahamian, whether in New Providence or our family islands, that the Ministry of Works is working for you. Ensure that all Bahamians and residents benefit from our progress. Before we dive into the details of our proposed budget for 24-25, I believe it is essential to reflect on the accomplishments of the previous years, to provide context, and to affirm that we are indeed working on behalf of the Bahamian people and changing the status quo. During the first 3 years of the former administration, Madam Speaker, despite COVID-19 pandemic, let me remind you that the construction industry was not closed, and therefore there is no excuse as to why the former government did not do more to boost construction during the lockdown. With so many closed industries, funds could have been diverted to repair roads, to repair government buildings, to improve infrastructure, but they had no vision. They boasted about the future, but they didn't have no plan for your future. And it is indicative in where they invested the public funds. Madam Speaker, even the investors had no confidence in them and in the trajectory of our economy. I pulled some data from my ministry, Madam Speaker. In the first 3 years of the previous administration, construction peaked at $244 million. Peaked, and that was in 2018. That was the best year for them. There was no COVID, the economy was good, still stagnant investment in the country. In the first 3 years of this administration, Madam Speaker, and you know, the member for East Grand Bahamas says, don't watch what they say, watch what they do. I'm showing you what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So what they say, numbers don't lie. In the first 3 years of this administration, Madam Speaker, investor confidence, both local and domestic, improved drastically. Even on the heels of COVID, in 2022, the completed construction total peaked at $388 million. When you compare our best year to their best year, that is over $130 million of construction investment in the Bahamas.
Compare our waste here to their best.
Our worst year was still better than their best year. I got their numbers too. I got their numbers too. Our worst year was $305 million, Madam Speaker. Their best year was $254 million. So, like the member for Axum and Unregulated Island said yesterday, the worst day under the PLP administration is better than the best day under an FNF administration. Since June 2023, we have made substantial strides in our infrastructural development agenda, fulfilling many promises and laying the groundwork for future advancements. I am proud to share some of the key advancements of the Ministry of Works during this period.
Still hope for you.
Madam Speaker, last year we paid 25 miles of road. We've already paid 25 miles of road this year. And we got a long ways to go. We expect to pave 65 miles of arterial and community roads by the end of 2024. And as announced beginning this budget cycle until the completion of this term in office, we expect to invest $98 million in road drainage work throughout New Providence alone. We are investing in providing safe streets for all motorists, inclusive of sidewalks for our pedestrians and bikers. Since July of 2023, we have completed the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Base, Sands Road, East Street South, East Street North, Woodland Way, Charlotte Street, Frederick Street, Long Wharf, Dunmore Street, Government House, Airport Road, Weston Road, Marvin Close, Sir Lyndon Pinley Estates, Lincoln Boulevard, Yarmacraw Road, Yarmacraw Hill Road, Yarmacraw Shores, unnamed road off of Charles Saunders Highway, Blake Road, Zion Boulevard, Mangrove Road, Gibbs Lane, Cowpen Road, Lobs Avenue, Coxway, Shirley Street, Ponciana Drive, New Hope Drive, Coral Harbor Road, Royal Palm Street, Palm Beach Street, St. James Road, and Industrial Park of Estates. Since January 2024, we paved East Street, Kennedy Subdivision, Soldier Road, Jubilee Gardens, Bank Lane, Abundant Life Road, Anstown Clinic, Ballot Road, Carmichael Road West, Bacardi Road, Pine Forest Close, Prince Charles Drive, Eastern Road, Western Road, Dowsville Street, Christie Street, Bernstein Lane, Colbeck Lane, West Bay Street, University of the Bahamas, and Agricultural Road off of Glaston Road. Just Road, Madam Speaker. And Bamboo Town get theirs too.
Town, get mine. And getting more.
And they're getting more.
Yes. Yes.
Madam Speaker, this is
here.
just the tip of the iceberg. We know that there are still many more roads that need paving and/or repairs, but despite the challenges, we are progressing steadily. But I can say that the paving of these roads have significantly improved the transportation network, reducing travel time for residents and visitors alike. Madam Speaker, in most of our communications, we focus on the roads, docks, and bridges. However, this ministry has placed a significant focus on architectural design, construction management, and this team is led by Mr. Timothy Johnson, which comprises of 29 members, which includes architects, clerk of works, administrative staff, and this small team carries approximately 270 projects, inclusive of the Ministry of Education projects, which includes a summer repairs program, community kitchens at GRAC in Hatchet Bay, GRAC headquarters, Bolam House, Andre Rogers Stadium, Orrin Bailey High School Pavilion, New Bight Airport, Arthurstown Airport, BAMSI, Government House, Parliament Project, Holmes Rock School, Low Sound School, Ragged Island School, Ragged Island Clinic, Axuma Airport, Fort Fincastle Straw Market, South Andros Gym, East Grand Bahama Comprehensive School, LPIA Fire Station refurbishment, Standard Creek Old Schoolhouse repairs, Washington Embassy, Governor's Harbor Airport, Botanical Gardens, House of Labor, Senate building repairs. You see, Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Works and Family Affairs is indeed working for you. And I would like to go through all of these, and I'll go briefly through some of the projects that we're doing. But for the edification of members, if you look at Annex 17, you'll see a big list of projects that we hope to complete, or start, rather, in this upcoming budget cycle. And you'll see that almost every family island is being touched in one way or another, because it's time for family islanders to get their fair share. So if members want to look at Annex 17, you'll see a lot of work that's being done. Family Island Affairs is working for you. No more will family islanders be neglected by this administration, because too long they have not seen, especially in up north and central Abaco. We got some things for you too. Yeah. We know that there are still many roads that need paving and repairs, but despite the challenges, we continue to work, Madam Speaker. And when we talk about changing lives, we recognize that there is so much more to be done. And in this upcoming budget, we will focus our attention on projects, Madam Speaker, that affect lives. In New Providence, we have partnered with the IDB. We will continue to work on coastal protection. We continue the construction of breakwaters at Junkanoo Beach Long Wharf, the construction of nearshore works on Junkanoo Beach Long Wharf, the causeway and infrastructure works in East Grand Bahama, flood mitigation in central Long Island, construction of natural infrastructure and resilience in Andros, and shoreline management studies and coastal management and infrastructure program. Madam Speaker, when we speak about construction of new docks and seawalls, we speak about Morris Island, Abaco, This existing project will rehabilitate the mail boat dock and 2 fishing docks in Morris Island. The main mail boat dock is in poor condition with severe deterioration to the timber structure with a high risk of total collapse. Therefore, the dock is to be replaced with a concrete structure suitable for vehicular use, Madam Speaker. We also want to speak about Thomas A. Robinson Stadium in New Providence. The Phase 1 works for the repairs to the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium completed in 2024 in time for the Bahamas to host a successful World Relays. These works were undertaken using funding from the China Aid Project and included the following works: the replacement of the eastern stand roof, repairs of the high mast lighting, concrete repairs to key structural elements. A new track surface is required in order to meet IAAF certification. The track is manufactured by Mondo. It's the same being used for this year's Olympic Games being held in Paris. The Phase 2 works commenced in late 2024, May 2024, and are planned to be completed in October 2025. These works include extensive renovations both inside and outside, and these include the replacement of the roof to the western stand, new electrical, plumbing systems, installation of windows, doors, internal fixtures and fittings, new jumbotron screens, new external lighting to the stadium. And if you attended the World Relays, Madam Speaker, I'm sure you had a grand time in the new stadium. The vendors were busy. They sold many goods, and Bahamians felt the excitement of watching our home team members vie for their ticket from paradise to Paris. We are also doing repairs to the Batty Kelly Aquatic Center, Madam Speaker. For the first time in 20 years, major repairs were done to this complex. The works were completed by SJK Engineering and Construction and included a new Murtha lining to both the 50-meter and 25-meter pools, extensive refurbishment of the equipment room, new light fixtures to the high mast light, new pool fixtures and equipment. The refurbishment allowed for the successful hosting of Carifta Swimming Championships in April 2024. Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Works and Family Affairs is all about results. Let me speak about new projects, Madam Speaker. Too long, the Ministry of Works has had challenges in regards to getting plans approved in a timely manner. So we are looking at our AMI Framework Agreement. So in March of this year, a MOU was signed between the Ministry of Works, Family and Affairs, and AMI Limited. AMI is a United Kingdom leading consulting company that has done work across the globe and undertaken numerous projects around the world. The agreement that we have signed with them includes a glass window bridge, a specific opportunity access to use United Kingdom export finance credit support to finance a new structure. The benefits of this approach to the government are that the delivery of the bridge could be accelerated and finance secured at competitive rates. We're also looking at the establishment of a program delivery and asset management bodies within the ministry. This would assist with processes and technologies for managing both the delivery of projects and the management and maintenance of assets, which would be defined and introduced. These would include data-led enterprise asset management system to oversee maintenance of a wide variety of assets. We're also looking at capacity building and also to provide specialists with technical assistance across a range of planning and engineering disciplines, including highways, drainage, flood management, buildings, transport planning, traffic control, structural engineering, streetscape, asset management, and new technology. Madam Speaker, we should implement the above measures. This would indeed change the lives of everyone, not only in the Ministry of Works, but also the processes, so persons who utilize the ministry will see a difference in the functionality and the efficiency of how things are done. Madam Speaker, we're also looking at other bridges, including the Glass Window Bridge, Stanyo Key Bridge in Exuma.
Yes.
This project is the replacement of the public bridge at Stanyo Key. The existing bridge is a timber deck structure has deteriorated, and the supporting concrete substructure appears in a poor condition. Hence, replacement is recommended. Following an open tender process, a contract has been signed with SJK, and the project is approximately around $800,000 with a planned construction period of 6 months. And this is due to start in July of 2024.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, the ink is dried, and this is going to be completed around the Christmas holiday or shortly thereafter. Madam Speaker, we again are changing the status quo. We also have the reconstruction of the Davy Creek Bridge in North Andros. Also, the replacement of docks in North Andros. These docks include Nicholstown, Red Bay, Low Sound, and Conch Sound in Andros. And these docks are key economic drivers for the various communities. Each dock is 10 feet wide and range from 80 to 120 feet long. A tender exercise was recently completed, and we are currently seeking cabinet approval for a contract to be awarded for the new budget period, planning to start in August of 2024. Refurbishment to the government dock and construction of a commercial dock in Arbor Island. This proposed project is a refurbishment with the upgrade of the facilities at the Arbor Island dock in Dunmore Town. This project will enhance the facility for the users. At the current refuge site, it is proposed to construct a docking marine facility for current vessels only. And we are proposing the PPP for this, actually, the architectural renderings have commenced on that project. We hope to start that in this budget cycle. We're also looking at the reconstruction of Stafford Key and Fresh Creek bridges in North Andros, the Ferry Bridge in Axuma, Barataria bridges in Axuma, government dock at Bullocks Harbor and the Barry Islands, government docks in Abaco. During the passage of Hurricane Dorian in September 2019, various government docks suffered significant damages to both the timber framing, gazebo roofs, and concrete abutment structures. Subsequent to Hurricane Dorian, these docks received further framing damages due to swell events that occurred during the summer of 2020. All the docks serve as a major transportation hub to the nearby North Abaco Keys, and it's a transit by a number of individuals on a weekly basis. Excuse me. These projects will replace all damaged elements, and the docks be reconstructed to accommodate the ferry and transient vessels. The docks that we are looking at constructing would be Sandy Point Fisherman's Dock, Crossing Dock, Cedar Harbor Dock, Union Jack Dock, White Sound Dock, Wood Key Dock, New Plymouth Dock, and Green Turtle Key. And actually, New Plymouth Dock and Green Turtle Key, we approved the tender for the environmental assessment this week. So that dock is well on the way. We hope to start that once that and the renderings are done. And also the Trashy Key Ferry Dock in Abaco. The ministry is proposing to undertake a tender exercise in the new budget period. In regards to the Black Point Dock, Madam Speaker, that is a Black Point. This dock is in poor condition. I must say that the Member of Parliament, Baxuma, I think he wakes up with Black Point on his mind, because he messages me every day about Black Point. Enough. So, Madam Speaker, it is in poor condition. The plans are done, and we are looking in the upcoming budget cycle how we can secure the funding to do that dock. That is quite an extensive dock, and we look forward to working along with the Member of Parliament to find a way to ensure that we complete that or start that in the upcoming budget cycle. Madam Speaker, many of these projects are proposed, and I just went briefly over them. Like I say, in Annex 17, you can see that the Ministry of Works and Family Affairs is working extremely hard to do as much as we can, not only in New Providence, but in the Family Islands. We have a full list of budget allocations, and my time will not allow me to go through all of them. But I just want to reiterate that we are working for the people in the Family Islands. Technical. You come inaugurate.
Absolutely, man. You're next.
The technical teams at the ministry has already assessed all of these projects, and all we need to do is to accomplish these is funding. Some of them we have earmarked for. We listed a number of projects to be undertaken through the Family Islands, And some of these would be through PPPs, through government-backed loans, or international funding. These are the infrastructural projects, Madam Speaker, that have the capacity to change the status quo on our islands and to change lives. Madam Speaker, the Family Islands are experiencing the same enthusiasm and energy of road paving like here in the capital. I have worked extremely hard to ensure that the residents of Family Islanders have access to the resources and the opportunities that they deserve. On the Family Islands, we have paved crucial roads in Abaco, in Andros, and in Cat Island, and Eleuthero. Ongoing works in Exuma, Long Island, enhancing connectivity and supporting local economies. The development of the Family Island roads include Andros Red Bay Settlement Roads. This began in January of 2023, estimated cost of $13.7 million, and is almost 75% complete. Long Island road repairs at the rehabilitation tune of $4.3 million. This started, Madam Speaker, in 2021. Finally, this project has been almost completed, and the company has also been engaged to commence additional work in Stella Maris to ensure that the persons that travel from Stella Maris Airport have a good road to travel on. And I was there on the weekend, and I can say that the work is progressing well, and the people on Long Island are finally happy that some capital works is being done in that island. Governor's Harbor Road repairs completed, Madam Speaker. Great Harbor Key, with the airport civil works on the air side were carried out at the cost of $9.3 million. These works are 65% completed. In Abaco and Pelican Shores, road repairs in Marsh Harbor, the total cost was at about $1.7, and this is near completion. Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Works remains steadfast in its commitment to infrastructure development, with a notable progress made in road construction, ensuring that roads that were patched were critical and paved across multiple islands. And while we celebrate these achievements, we must also acknowledge the challenges and areas where our efforts fell short, and despite our best efforts. While progress has been made, there is still much work to be done in several key islands. Central Andros Road repairs started September of 2021. The initial scope has been completed, and the contractors have been engaged to carry out additional works. South Andros Road repairs, rehabilitation project at $8.54 million. The government is engaging a nominated contractor to complete the works. And they're no longer getting sand and seal with the original contract. They're getting asphalt, Madam Speaker. And we don't just talk. The equipment's on the ground. They're starting to work at the dock. So Central and South Andros should be pretty happy, Madam Speaker. I know he wants more. We're going to trade road for water. Madam Speaker, Arthurstown runway repairs, $9.5 million. This project has experienced some delays, and we expect completion by December 2024. Crooked Island Seawall and Carriageway at a tune of $3.5 million. This project is in addition to the existing Crooked Island Seawall and Carriageway contract, which started after Hurricane Joaquin. This project is 85% completed. Madam Speaker, we have invested in Bahamians and have sought to undertake several PPPs. One of those is in Exuma, Madam Speaker, which is funded by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies. The work is well under the way. Madam Speaker, Cat Island road repairs, funding for this project is at about $60 million with options for additional funding. The contract was signed in May 2023, and the contractor started laying pipe in the north of the island with road paving works in March of 2024. This project is expected to extend for about 3 years and completed in early 2026. Eleuthero, Madam Speaker, this proposal has started with some 15 local companies contracted to carry out pothole remediation and 2 major road building companies subcontracted to carry out base work. The contract period is 36 months and around 163 miles of road in Eleuthero. Madam Speaker, back in March of this year, I, along with the team from the Ministry of Works, traveled to Eleuthera to formalize this PPP with Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, a partnership with Caribbean Pavement Solutions. And I've said it before, Madam Speaker, I will continue to reiterate when I have an opportunity to speak about Eleuthera, and that is I am unapologetic about what the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs has earmarked for this island. All our family islands need works done, and we will facilitate as much to ensure the economic injection needed is expanded. Madam Speaker, as we look into the future, there are proposals for several PPPs for several civil infrastructure projects on the family islands. The following are a list of PPP projects in the works. Long Island Road repairs, PPP, with approximately 119 miles of asphalt paving works. These works will include all the main roads on Long Island and approximately 30 miles of settlement roads. Rowdy Boys Construction Company, in conjunction with BSGC, will execute the works under this PPP arrangement. And as such, the Ministry of Finance is now in the final stages of preparing the MOU for this project, after which the Ministry of Works will prepare the contract documents. This project is expected to begin in the second quarter of the upcoming fiscal budget year. Madam Speaker, yesterday the Member of Parliament for Central and South Abaco spoke about the PPP project for roadworks there. We expect that Ministry of Finance now has the documents, and they are reviewing them to rehabilitate and construct about 56 miles of asphalt paving works, road safety enhancements, seawalls, sidewalks, drainage improvements, and striping, mainly in the South Abaco from Marsh Harbor to Sandy Point. Other proposed projects, Madam Speaker, include Sweeting Village in Abaco, repaving of roads in Central Pines, Abaco, Inagua Island Infrastructure Project, West End Road repairs in Grand Bahama, pothole patching, and drainage repairs in Grand Bahama as well. Madam Speaker, we addressed over 3,000 potholes across New Providence in the past year, ensuring safer and more reliable roads for drivers. While drainage infrastructure across the Bahamas was not specifically emphasized in the former budget speech, we have created a line item specifically for drainage repair, maintenance, and well drilling. Extensive drainage repairs and the installation of new drainage systems were carried out in flood-prone areas, particularly in Nassau. The civil engineering section of the Ministry of Works took more proactive measures to address flooding issues in New Providence, hence the reason for the development of a 3-year drainage plan, one of which is the New Providence drainage culvert rehabilitation of Bay Street. Estimated cost so far, Madam Speaker, is $100,000, and the project is ongoing. We all know the fight of climate change, and our Prime Minister has taken active steps in every opportunity to address this very issue every chance he gets. For the Ministry of Works, in light of the growing threat of climate change, we will intensify our efforts to enhance climate resilience and promote sustainable development practices, from investing in renewable energy infrastructure to implementing coastal protection measures, as well as rectifying drainage issues. We are looking at an holistic approach to flooding using research, development, and technology to create a national flood mitigation program. That said, well maintenance took place across New Providence in 12 zones. 50% of the work is complete. Re-drilling and drilling of 7 wells across New Providence with a total of $1.2 million, with work still in progress. And these efforts have significantly mitigated flooding risks, protecting homes and businesses from water damage. Pending drainage works includes over $400,000 in the Family Islands, hiring of additional drilling contractors for maintenance of wells and re-drilling of wells for social service facility, hurricane supplies, Devonshire Drive, St. Albans Drive. Madam Speaker, we are all aware that all of our islands are at about 3 feet above sea level. And based on the factual reality, we understand that most of our islands would be compromised should sea levels rise or should flooding occur. And for years, we have been reactive in our approach instead of proactive. Granted, we have increased the amount of drainage in several areas. We have not done the best job at maintaining these drains. A fitting example, Madam Speaker, is Bay and Dassel Street areas. And for the first time in decades, Madam Speaker, we are fixing that. About a month ago, a team from the Ministry of Works, led by Senior Engineer Henry Moxey, cleared the drains and removed the blockages. We have 2 more culverts to deal with, but as a result, during the last heavy downpour, anyone traveling in the area would have noticed that the amount of flooding was greatly reduced, with only pockets of water settling where no runoff existed or where there were blockages due to construction. Madam Speaker, changing the status quo is implementing strategies to mitigate the impact of flooding damages in these areas. And to this end, we will be implementing the following measures. We will seek to completely clear drains and remove underground utilities, which oftentimes block the passage of water. We will seek to rebuild the drains where they are compromised or collapsed. We will seek to raise the public thoroughfares in these flooding areas and implement drainage. And in flood-prone areas, we will seek to implement an ACO drainage system or develop flood retention basins to temporarily hold the water. The water can possibly be treated to be used as gray water or repurposed to use for restrooms. In areas near bodies of water, we will seek to cover outlet pipes with tidal valves that will prevent the backflow of water, further reducing the possibility of flooding. We will seek to prepare a portion of road in the flood-prone area and replace it with permeable asphalt to test the durability of the material and to determine the sustainability of the product for use here in this climate. Madam Speaker, I now want to speak a little bit about Unregulated Communities Action Task Force. I will address the critical work being done by this task force, an initiative that underscores our government's commitment to improving the standard of life throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The task force is charged with the important task of demolishing unregulated homes and structures, a mission that is vital to our nation's development and the safety of our citizens. This government, Madam Speaker, has zero tolerance policy towards illegal and unregulated structures. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Such establishments not only pose a significant risk to their inhabitants, but compromise the safety and orderly development of our nation. Madam Speaker, at least 12 additional unregulated communities have been identified across the Family Islands, specifically on Abaco, Eleuthera, Grand Bahama, and Andros, besides the 12 in New Providence. Our administration is resolute in its determination to raise the standard of living across the Bahamas. By enforcing the regulation of the Building Regulations Control Act, we are steadfast in our mandate to eradicate unregulated communities throughout the length and breadth of our nation. This is not just a regulatory exercise. It's a critical public safety and public health initiative. I must emphasize and warn the general public. The existence of unregulated communities poses significant risks to health, safety, and to welfare. These areas often lack the basic infrastructure and services that are essential for a decent quality of life. Therefore, I strongly advise individuals currently residing in unregulated communities to seek accommodations in regularized communities. I want to repeat that. I want to now publicly warn persons that are in unregulated communities to seek accommodations in regularized communities. These communities are designed to provide safe and healthy living conditions for all residents. Madam Speaker, the task force has made significant strides in its mission, and to date, on New Providence, the task force demolished 15 structures in Cool Acres. The area had approximately 85 unregulated structures, however, 70 of them were destroyed by the fire. In All Saints Bay, 77 structures were counted, where 62 of them were demolished. In Coral Harbor, in the area they call Area 52, 79 out of 81. This task force still has 2 unregulated communities that remain outstanding, where they have provided notice. That's the Wellsfield and Miller Road. Now, on Miller Road, some 42 structures have been identified, and in the Wellfield, 34 structures were counted by the Ministry Building Control Officer. On the Family Islands, Madam Speaker, in Abaco, nearly 500 unregulated structures in 4 communities. Back in January, this year's assessments were made in Gaza, north of Assi Burul Highway, the Gully Nelson, south of Assi Burul Highway, the Gully South, and the farm in Treasure Key. Since then, at the end of February, demolition has been completed in 2 areas. 123 structures were counted, 120 were torn down in the Gaza. The Gully Nelson, 28 out of the 85 structures counted were demolished. Demolition remains outstanding for the Gully South, where there are 31 unregulated structures, and the farm that has the largest number with 240 unregulated structures. The task force following Abaco's assessment moved to Eleuthera. Madam Speaker, demolition took place in Blackwood, where 216 structures were counted and 184 were demolished. The areas that remain outstanding for demolition are Russell Island. Madam Speaker, the demolition exercise is essential to ensure that our islands remain safe, that all Bahamians have access to regulated, secure, and sustainable living environments. Demolitions will continue to be carried out, particularly on New Providence, over the course of the next several months. Our government remains committed to this cause. We will continue to press forward with our mandate to eliminate unregulated communities, thereby enhancing the quality of life for all Bahamians and ensuring the orderly development of our nation. Madam Speaker, my portfolio also includes a responsibility for Family Island Affairs through the Department of Local Government, where we oversee the supervision of 26 Family Island administrators across our country. Additionally, we have 6 administrators stationed at our headquarters in New Providence who support the Office of the Director and represent the future leadership of the department. The Local Government Act provides for a Deputy Director, a position that we'll be seeking to fill soon. And furthermore, we are considering amendments to the Act to introduce Regional Assistant Directors, Madam Speaker. I am pleased to inform members that we have finalized a bill to amend the Act following the diligent work of members of the Local Government Review Act Committee, also members from local government who are in the gallery with us today. This 18-member team, including 2 consultants, conducted extensive consultations across the Family Islands. Their comprehensive feedback has informed the recommended amendments. We look forward to that, Madam Speaker. I know during the F&M convention, they spent a lot of time in local government. I think they already knew that the work that was been put in, but we could get it done. So then they'll have to change their mandate again. Local government is something that we support, Madam Speaker. We support revenue-raising powers. The act is completed. We hope to bring it to Cabinet shortly and to debate it and have it passed by end of year, Madam Speaker. The Regatta Desk also plays a crucial role in supporting economic activities in the Family Islands through regattas, homecomings, and cultural festivals. Last year, Madam Speaker, this government declared sloop sailing as a national sport of the Bahamas, promoting junior sailing as a key priority for my ministry, given the impressive talent and enthusiasm demonstrated by young sailors at the recent National Family Island Regatta. Our Regatta Desk co-chairs, supported by dedicated staff, go above and beyond to ensure the success of events such as the National Family Island Regatta, Long Island Regatta, and 18 other regattas, as well as 55 homecomings and cultural festivals. Madam Speaker, the member for East Grand Bahama stated last week, and I want to thank the member for Exuma for rebutting the member with the assertion that in developing the national sport, that local government didn't spend none of their budget allocation for the development of sailing. Misguided or misread or mischievous. But I can tell you they missed something. But I can tell you that we spent every dollar in that line item. And even further to that, Madam Speaker, in the upcoming budget cycle, to further develop the sport, we are launching a boat building program, working along with the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture, where we will be building 7 E-class sloops across the archipelago at the schools. And once the sloops are completed, Madam Speaker, they will get to keep these vessels to compete in regattas and to add to further developing the national sport of the Bahamas. I would also like to add, Madam Speaker, that we just don't talk about these things, you see. Just results, Madam Speaker. The Junior Local Government Council program we launched last year, and has been a resounding success and is concluding for this school year. The program aims to engage high school students in community affairs, fostering a new generation of local government practitioners. This year, 38 Family Island high schools and 1 New Providence school participated, with significant support from the Ministry of Education. Over the school year, we implemented a competition for the best council with cash prizes for the top 3 schools to fund next year's junior council projects. Yesterday, we announced the winners of that competition. I offer congratulations to the students, the advisors, the teachers, and the supportive community of 8 Mile Rock, and to every school that took part in this exercise over the course of the school year. Civics play an important role in the development of our country, and changing the status quo is focusing on re-implementing such programs within our youth to foster the growth and the development of our future leaders. We hope that this program gives them the necessary tools, the skills, the guidance, and the understanding of our legislative framework, and instill a strong sense of community development, activism, and philanthropy. Looking ahead, elections for the next batch of junior councils will be held with the cooperation of the Ministry of Education, the Parliamentary Registry, and the Ministry of National Security once students return from for the fall semester. This will be followed shortly by local government elections throughout the Commonwealth. Madam Speaker, established to facilitate ease of access is a Family Island Help Desk, which provides information for Family Islanders and foreign individuals regarding business opportunities and government services in the Bahamas. This program is managed by personnel in New Providence, Eleuthera, and Inagua, with plans to expand to other Family Island communities. Madam Speaker, during this period under review, the Straw Market Authority has experienced a significant increase in revenue intake across its markets in downtown Paradise Island, Cable Beach, Fort Charlotte, and Fort Fincastle. The member for South Beach will definitely speak more of that in regards to the Straw Market Authority and how they are making a difference, not just in New Providence, but in the Family Islands as well. Madam Speaker, we continue to work to change the status quo. And as we look forward to the fiscal year in 24-25, it is imperative that we build upon the progress of the past year while redoubling our efforts to address the remaining challenges. Our budget priorities for the coming year reflect our unwavering commitment to advancing the interests of all Bahamians. And as we move forward, our budget is designed to build on our successes. Key priorities include the investment in infrastructure. We will continue to prioritize infrastructure investments with a focus on improving connectivity, enhancing public services, and promoting sustainable development. Through targeted projects and partnerships, we aim to address critical infrastructure needs while creating jobs and stimulating economic growth. Madam Speaker, we will continue to focus our efforts on providing modern highways, working in conjunction with utility companies to upgrade and secure infrastructure as we construct new highways and make needed repairs to arterial and community roads. The empowerment of Family Islands, Madam Speaker, we want to strengthen local government, continue to support local and junior council local governments, providing them with the resources and autonomy needed to effectively serve their communities. The empowerment of our Family Island remains a cornerstone of our development agenda. We will implement targeted initiatives to support local economies, strengthen essential services, and enhance the quality of life for residents of Family Islands across the country. Madam Speaker, you would have heard from most of my colleagues who have already made their presentations in this place that our major focus within their ministries is the development and the sustainability of programs within the Family Islands. In our Blueprint for Change, we place a significant focus on the development of the Family Islands as our vision for the next 50 years is to ensure equity among our islands and to ensure sustainable development practices that decentralizes our population to further enhance our economy. Madam Speaker, you would know that the Ministry of Works and Family Affairs employs a number of technical staff. We are acutely aware that there are a growing number of projects that require specific expertise, and we are aware that a number of our staff are near retirement and are retained on a contractual basis, having retired. Madam Speaker, changing the status quo means implementing an apprenticeship program within the University of the Bahamas. BTVI and also partnering with students who are studying abroad in the disciplines of geographical information systems, drone, piloting, engineering, which includes civil, structural, environmental, electrical, mechanical, chemical, just to list a few areas. Architecture, quality and quantity surveying, project management, auto mechanics, carpentry, welding, occupational health and safety, construction management. Madam Speaker, we will seek to work with the Ministry of Labor and the Public Service to review some of these job descriptions and to revise the salary scales and to review the career paths. Changing the status quo is recognizing that we are living in an era of changes, and to remain competitive, we must ensure that the public service is equipped with the technical expertise to ensure that our systems, our regulations are updated and improved to meet the growing demand in the various industries. Further, Madam Speaker, we must recognize that as we are investing in the development of our family islands, we will seek to ensure that the level of professional and technical expertise is readily available throughout our major islands, especially where we see an uptick in development. Madam Speaker, we are in the process of working with the Digital Transformation Unit in an ongoing effort to digitize 18 services and building control that will be available on My Gateway within the next few weeks. And we are in the final stage of reviewing the model. It should be ready for launch immediately thereafter. We are also modernizing the Bridge Authority, our technical equipment, so that the payment methods that's not only cash but modernized, Madam Speaker. We will be accepting not only cash but credit card, because we don't want people to be stuck on the bridge. If you ain't got cash, you better find some money to pay, because they ain't letting you through. So we'll be modernizing that, Madam Speaker, to use credit card when you go to pay your bridge toll. Further, Madam Speaker, in keeping with the blueprint for change, my ministry is focused on fully digitizing the services at the Ministry of Works, Family and Affairs, and launching a website. Following COVID-19 pandemic, we are all aware that we can fully operate in a digital space, requiring less face-to-face interaction. And by utilizing digital services, we can better track documents and process requests, as there is a current and emerging technology that makes this process simplified. Additionally, Madam Speaker, we understand that the processes for some technical services are challenging for persons residing on or seeking to invest in our family islands. And by transforming these services digitally, we will alleviate the current wait time for these projects throughout the archipelago. Madam Speaker, as we continue to utilize the bonfire system for procurement throughout the government service, we will engage the contractors and business community by hosting seminars to train users to better navigate the platform and to provide guidelines for how to prepare proper bidding documents. Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Works and Family and Affairs is committed to advancing infrastructure and the quality of life for all Bahamians. By working together, we can overcome challenges and build a brighter, more prosperous future for our nation. And on behalf, Madam Speaker, of the good people, great people, the people that deserve better, the people that's going to get better, of Central and South Eleuthera, who are already reaping the benefits of good governance, we certainly look forward, most importantly, to the promised advances in the redevelopment efforts of our utilities, to the continued and significant focus of our public building spaces and investments. Madam Speaker, we in Central and South Eleuthera support wholeheartedly the efforts of this administration in changing the status quo. Central and South Eleuthera support this budget.
Thank you, Honourable Member Asmini. The Chair recognizes the Honourable Member for North Andros and the Barry Islands.
Madam Speaker, my parliamentary colleagues, good morning. Madam Speaker, I rise today on the behalf of the great people of North Andros and the Berry Island. I give God praise and thanks for his opportunity to be able to serve in this capacity. It is because of him that I am here today. It is not because of any good thing that I have done, but because of his kindness and love towards me. Madam Speaker, I ask your permission to allow me 2 minutes to make mention of a few condolences and birthday greetings to a few constituents of Nabi. Happy birthday is extended to all residents who have celebrated their special day. Please enjoy your new year as you celebrate the gift of life. I extend sincere condolences to all the constituents of Nabi who lost their loved ones. Just recently, I had the opportunity to attend the homegoing service for Mr. Bernard Lancelot Evans, who served his community with humility and excellence. He was one who did not shy away from his political beliefs, but stood by them. On the behalf of my constituents, once again, I extend sincere condolences to all of you. A special good morning to my dear mother, Lenora Gray Brennan, all the way in Mangrove Key, Andros, and to my grandmother, Pandora Miller, who always have their radios locked in during my contributions. Shout out to my sons, Kaden, Cara, Kimea, and Cameron. Daddy loves you. Gotta get that out of the way, Madam Speaker. The reason I am here today is because of the great people of North Andros and the Berry Islands. I continue to serve with a spirit of humility and excellence to ensure that your concerns are heard in this honorable place. Madam Speaker, one of the mandates of this administration is to ensure that we develop our family islands. As the Member of Parliament for a family island, I'm increasingly echoing the sentiments to ensure that we accomplish this great task. Over the last month, we have seen wildfires break out due to the excessive heat temperatures across the Bahamas. On the island of North Andros, we have seen one of the worst bush fires that I could recall, which lasted for weeks. Madam Speaker, this fire threatened homes, churches, and businesses. However, we are indeed thankful to God that no lives were lost and no homes damaged. We had some resources on the island, but due to the extreme circumstances of this fire, we had to rely on additional resources from New Providence to assist due to the vast area that was affected. Madam Speaker, it only could be God that no lives were lost and homes were destroyed. Madam Speaker, Scripture declares that where there is no vision, the people will perish. This is an urgent need, and we must act and put the necessary measures in place to ensure that the islands are equipped with the necessary resources in cases of emergencies such as these fires that occur. I would like to express gratitude to my sincere thanks to the Royal Bahamas Police Force, in particular, Assistant Superintendent Sands and his fire rescue team, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and the Ministry of Disaster Risk Management for their unwavering support during the recent wildfires, which pose a significant threat to our communities. The efforts they undertook to reinforce our firefighting capabilities were instrumental in managing this crisis. Madam Speaker, I would also like to express my sincere thanks to the Island Administrator, Beverly Larimore, Doral Woods, Aldrin Sanders. Both were actively engaged from day one. The Mennonites and their contributions, the heavy equipment operators, police officers, all the government agencies, especially water and sewage, Ministry of Works, the health and wellness, social service, on the ground that lend a hand to all the residents who ensure they fulfill the role of being their brothers and sisters' keeper, and all the volunteers who work tirelessly to ensure that all residents and their homes and businesses were not damaged. As we move forward, our commitment is steadfast in collaborating with the relevant agencies and experts. Together, we aim to develop effective strategies that will not only enhance our response to natural disasters, but also address the growing challenges man-made disasters, such as the surge in bushfires. It is through this united effort that we hope to ensure the safety and well-being of my constituency. Madam Speaker, our dedication to advocating for the reintroduction of banking services in my constituency remains unwavering. We recognize the critical role that the financial institutions play in the modernization and facilitation of business operations. Our goal is to foster the growth of e-commerce within the community. The return of these essential services is a cornerstone in our pursuit to enhance economic development and provide our constituents with the necessary tools in success in today's digital marketplace. Additionally, Madam Speaker, the island of North Andros experienced a horrific traffic accident where 3 residents lost their lives. In this regard, I extend sincere condolences to those families. An assessment was conducted of the area that has since been cleared, and proper streetlights will be installed in the very near future. Also, signage is being prepared by the Ministry of Works to ensure that residents exercise extreme caution and drive within the speed limit. Madam Speaker, I would also like to remind the honorable place that developing these family islands will be an advantage for the future of the Bahamas. Residents and tourists alike will have the option of deciding what island they would like to visit because of the diversity each island has to offer. Under the direction of the Ministry of Health, one of our noteworthy accomplishments of this term thus far is the renovation to the Nichols Town Clinic. We have a newly refurbished with upgraded equipment and amenities that the residents of North Andros can be proud of. Additionally, we have more funding allocation in this budget to open satellite clinics within the communities. Madam Speaker, we are indeed grateful, especially for the elderly that cannot travel to the main clinic. These satellite clinics will be beneficial to remote and small-knit communities that require special attention. An example of this, Madam Speaker, is the satellite clinic in Red Base that was closed. Residents now are able to have full access to this facility. Services are now offered to that remote settlement the first Thursday of every month. Madam Speaker, education in the North Andros District has made strides with the limited resources available. I am happy that this administration saw fit to ensure that the free breakfast program will be extended to all primary schools throughout the country. We must make certain that our students are in the right frame of mind and prepared for that school day. Madam Speaker, we have seen our students excel and achieve many top awards despite the many challenges they face. I would like to congratulate Ms. Levaria Storr, nominee in the Primary School Student of the Year, for placing 7th overall. Well done, Levaria, and congratulations on such stellar performance. Madam Speaker, Ms. Storr is a 6th grade student from the Losang Primary School in North Andros. She was one of the only students from the government school that placed in the top 10, and she is a family islander, which is remarkable for this accomplishment. Madam Speaker, I would also like to make mention of the following students from the North Andros District who received the following scholarships. James Neely, $1,500 scholarship recipient from the Rosella Woodside Primary. Zion Laville, $1,000 scholarship recipient from the Clara E. Evans Primary School. Shania McPhee, $1,000 scholarship recipient from the Standard Creek Primary School. And Kevinique's son, Anderson, $1,000 scholarship recipient from the Bertram A. Newton Primary School for the Student of the Year. Mr. James Neely won 3rd place in the National Religious Studies speech competition. He hails from Rosella Woodside Primary School. Also in education and culture, Losang Primary School Dance Troupe and the Rosella Woodside Primary School Dance Troupe both received distinction for their respective dance pieces at the Clement E. Bethel National Arts Festival. Madam Speaker, these students were able to show off their craft and creativity as a dance group demonstrating their talent and innovation. Tori Weiner, semi-finalists in the Primary Student of the Year nomination from the R.N. Gomez Comprehensive School. In the world of sports, we have several outstanding athletes from the constituency of Nabi who excel and made strides. Ms. Harmony Roll was awarded top female athlete at the Frank Poncho Ramming Sport Meet in Nassau 2024. In her division, she was the best female athlete in Division B under 11 girls. Also, Rashan Marshall, who was the best male athlete at the district sport meet. Madam Speaker, there is so much raw talent in North Andros and the Berry Islands. Ms. Harmony Roll and Mr. Ronshaw Martha, both students from the Clara E. Evans Primary School. Mr. Brendan Baker from the Rosella Woodside Primary School placed first in the 75-meter race at the Frank Poncho Ramming Sports Meet at the Tania Colebrook came in third in the 400-meter race. She also hails from Rosella Woodside Primary School. Our high school students are also performing and doing well. Mr. Theron Evans placed third in the National Teachers Cadet Program. Let me introduce you all to Malaysia Gator, under 13 athlete, Tyler Pratt, under 20 girls athlete, and Javon Marshall, under 20 boys athlete, all doing a tremendous job in their sports discipline. Madam Speaker, let me just run through this real quickly for those three athletes I just made mention. Malaysia Gator, under 13 girls, high school nationals, Nassau, 400-meter, first place. Spring track meet, Grand Bahamas, 200-meter, first place. 400-meter, first place. Long jump, first place, and was overall winner. Tyler Pratt, under 20 girls, speed capital in Florida. High jump, first place. Long jump, first place, was overall winner. Spring fling, Grand Bahama, high jump, first place. Long jump, first place, was overall winner. Star Trackers, Nassau, high jump, first place. Road Runners, Nassau, first long jump, first place, and also named to the Bahamas national team. Carifta 2023, under 20 Worlds 2023. Javon Marshall, under 20 boys, speed capital Florida, 100-meter, first place. 200-meter, first place, and was the overall winner. Madam Speaker, I must say that my athletes in the North Andros and the Berry Islands schools are doing an excellent job, and I will continue to support them. Also, congratulations to the University of Florida Gators, the NCAA Division I men's track and field national champions for 3 straight times. Berry Islander, Wanya McCoy, we congratulate you and your teammates. Madam Speaker, I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to the Department of Labor for a successful job fair at Ocean Key. Over 80 applications were submitted, and they were able to hire residents from those applicants to be gainfully employed. As an administration, we continue to find avenues to ensure that all residents can find gainful employment to be able to provide for their families. In Ministry of Works, we are in the process of completing 16 miles of road work to the remote and historical settlement of Red Base. This project was desperately needed for the community for ease of access to the main settlements. This is great. This is a great feat for our district, and it shows the essential infrastructure that will be laid down for years to come. Nabi, your docks and bridges are in this budget. Bamsi Cafeteria is in this budget. For the students, staff, and those in the community to enjoy some down home-grown food. Stafford Creek, Blanket Sound, and Standard Creek, new paved roads are coming. Madam Speaker, I am pleased to report that the completion of the Low Sound Primary School is in this budget. What a day of rejoicing that will be. In the Department of Social Services, they have been able to streamline residents in the assistance program from 500 participants to only 260. We are now effectively giving aid to the residents in need and not allowing those individuals who slip through the cracks by getting funding that they were not qualified for. Madam Speaker, due to the number of elderly residents in some of the communities, it would be beneficial to have a senior citizen home to ensure that these residents are well taken care of, member for Pinewood. Madam Speaker, I am happy to report that many residents' applications are now being approved, giving Bahamians access to Crown land and making them landowners. Madam Speaker, I am also happy to report that the magistrate court system is now providing monthly court sessions that is needed to accommodate the flow of local cases and for timely hearing of cases in the district, with the re-establishment of the Family Island administrators to oversee matters on the bench. Additionally, Madam Speaker, I am also happy to report that in the North Andros district, there has been an increase in revenue collection from various government agencies. Bahamas Customs, we have seen the revenue intake in North Andros steadily increase. The numbers of visitors, vessels, and pleasure crafts to our island is a good indication that the economy is growing. This year's May versus last year's May have seen a steady increase of some 46% in revenue. North Andros is moving in the right direction. The Port Department has seen a significant increase in the revenue when compared to last year's May by an overwhelming increase of 59%. Madam Speaker, the people of North Andros and the Berry Islands are not just residents that I serve, but are part of my family. Their concerns are my concerns, and it's my job to ensure that they receive equal opportunities to enjoy a quality life. I have experienced what it really means to be touched by their infirmities and to be given the opportunity to make their lives better. Madam Speaker, my team and I are constantly looking at ways to ensure that the constituents' lives change for the better under my leadership and, by extension, the leadership of this administration. I applaud this administration for helping to achieve this goal. Madam Speaker, I believe that we can only be effective leaders when we have left a positive legacy behind, a legacy that clearly signifies growth for those who have elected us to serve them and to ensure that their lives move to another level. Madam Speaker, we continue to implement programs and in-house initiatives to ensure that the constituents are appraised with information and have their concerns addressed. Madam Speaker, my team and I have engaged throughout the communities with the residents hosting regular community events and free breakfasts. Madam Speaker, it is favorable to keep our youth, various communities active in positive activities. We have begun the refurbishment of various parks throughout the constituency to ensure they have recreational areas to enjoy. Track and field facilities in the constituency will be equipped with grass turf, and the basketball courts to the various communities will be upgraded. The park equipment will also be upgraded and improved. The Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture has informed me that the old gymnasium will be renovated with the state-of-the-art equipment, flooring and roof will be replaced and upgraded. This is tremendous, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I have taken note of a growing trend on the Family Islands due to most of them not being fully developed. Many of our young adults leave the island to find better opportunities or due to the lack of employment opportunities. It is my hope that we develop our islands so that they will be able to find suitable employment opportunities right at home without having to relocate to the capital. We have enough land in Andros to have our own police college, member for Freetown, or Royal Bahamas Defense Force Academy. Madam Speaker, I believe we can make this dream a reality. We can make it happen. I want to assure my constituents that our commitment is stronger than ever. We are dedicated to leveraging the resources of the government in this fiscal period with the aim of significantly improving the quality of life across the Family Islands. It remains our commitment to utilize every available opportunity and resources to bring about positive change and progress in our communities. Madam Speaker, as Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs, I rise today to support the Honourable Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs' statements on the advancement in Family Island Affairs. Additionally, in representing the constituents of North Andros and the Berry Islands, I want to express my anticipation that this administration will continue to facilitate significant progress for our communities. My role is to support and oversee Family Island affairs to strengthen the Honorable Minister's efforts. Our dedication to the development of local governance is unwavering and demonstrated by our diligent efforts to improve the Department of Local Government forward. I agree that our future vision for advancement in local government was demonstrated through the establishment of the Local Government Review Committee, which was established in May 2022. The extensive consultations across our islands have led to proposed legislative framework designed to enhance and improve the procedural execution of local governance, reflecting the collective voice of our communities following the widespread consultation. Madam Speaker, I wholeheartedly endorse the idea that the regatta desk is a driving force for economic growth through our national sport of sloop sailing. Regattas and festivals have re-energized and revitalized local communities. Moreover, the triumphs of our junior sailors at the Sir Derwent Knowles Regatta, the National Family Island Regatta, and other major and smaller regattas have demonstrated the potential of our young sailors and underscore the importance of fostering abilities. I salute the dedicated staff of the regatta desk and the well-organized local committees who work tirelessly to ensure the seamless execution of these events. And in the gallery, I see we have our FO, Mrs. Roma, we have our senior administrator, Ms. Boodle, and we have also Donald Sanders, who's been working closely with our ministry. Mr. Rule, glad to have you guys here. Madam Speaker, I echo the Honorable Member for South and Central Lucha's sentiments regarding the relaunch of the Local Government Junior Council Program. The remarkable success in sparking high school students' interest in community engagement cannot be overstated. With participation from 38 Family Island schools and the one New Providence school, the program has nurtured a new generation of local government practitioners. The current competition to identify the best council, offering cash prizes for the future projects, is a testament to this initiative's impact. The Junior Council program is pivotal in our community engagement strategy, and we look forward to the upcoming elections for junior councils, supported by the Ministry of Education and Technical Vocation. This initiative only prepares our young people for future governance roles, but also ensures a smooth transition and provides a stronger feeder program for local government elections. Colleagues, I also echo that in an era where digital presence is paramount, our media teams and the ministry have successfully collaborated with the Department of Local Government to enhance our social media outreach. By embracing modern technology platforms, we aim not only to showcase the achievements of our ministry, but also maintain transparent communication with the public. Our media teams have been working assiduously to enhance our social media platform presence, ensuring that we convey a transparent message, update the Bahamian public, and facilitate and answering questions through the Help Desk initiative via our media presence. This effort allows us to properly present the achievements of our ministry. The media platform provides accessible information to the public. Madam Speaker, the success of the Family Island affairs in recent years served as a testament to a solid foundation laid. I want to now speak about my constituency of North Andros and the Berry Islands. My constituents remain at the heart of my endeavors. I am committed to doing all that I can to ensure that the needs of my constituents are met and that we fulfill our commitment to improving the lives of the people I represent. Member for Fox Hill, please do not neglect the passport office for the entire Nabi constituency. We are looking forward to this. In my constituency, there are ongoing important efforts to improve the outlook of the local economy. Regardless in festivals, the hosting continues to infuse economic vitality in the local economies and have led to an ongoing positive improvements. We will continue to strive to see my constituency move forward. Let me remind you about the All Andros and the Berry Islands Regatta that is set for July 11 through the 14th, July 2024. Madam Speaker, I also had an opportunity to attend the South Andros homecoming and regatta, and what a time it was. The homecoming welcoming party, the boats there are just sailing. My twin brother from XC, he's saying during that what a good time we had. But we'll save that for a later date. We'll talk that now. Crown land approvals. I want to commend the government for the recent Crown land approvals. In North Andros and the Berry Islands, we have seen approvals for more than 50 Crown land applications this year alone. I applaud my twin brother in the South, Minister of State, Honorable Leon Lundy, paving the way for residential and economic development. I want to note that we will continue to work very hard to overcome some challenges in my constituency. In wrapping up, Madam Speaker, I want to affirm my full support for the government's proposed budget for the fiscal year 2024-2025. This budget reflects our unwavering commitment to the welfare of Bahamian people and to the advancement of our constituents. It is with a sense of duty and optimism that I endorse this financial plan, confident in its potential to steer our nation towards a better and sustainable future. Madam Speaker, it is important to note in this year's proposed budget key areas such as energy reform, improved healthcare facilities, the revitalization of Grand Bahama economy, free breakfast program for our primary school students, and other initiatives to move our Bahamian economy forward. Madam Speaker, inflation remains a concern throughout the country despite our best efforts. This caring administration has made provision to make certain that the public servant salary scales are reviewed in this budget period. It is important, Madam Speaker, that we not only attract the best, but to keep the hard-working public officers that we have already in the service, such as teachers, accountants, nurses, law enforcement officers, etc. Additionally, we have seen a record of number of industrial agreements signed with trade unions. Additionally, we have seen record-breaking numbers in our tourism arrival, over 9 million. Affordable housing, which is also a concern for many, are also being built for qualified Bahamians. I commend the government for its robust financial plans and pledge my support to the successful implementation of this initiative contained with the 2024-2025 annual budget. North Andros and the Berry Islands, this budget is for you. God bless North Andros and the Berry Islands, and God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Thank you. Madam Speaker, North Andros and the Berry Islands supports this budget.
Thank you, Honourable Member. As many? The chair recognizes the honourable member for South Beach.
Good morning, Madam Speaker, and thank you for recognizing me. Madam Speaker, I don't know if you ever been in a fist fight. And you expect, if you're in a fist fight, Madam Speaker, you know you expect to get a blow. You ain't gonna come out that fight without getting a hit. And so you could almost brace yourself for that, right? But Madam Speaker, I don't know if you've ever just been minding your own business and just someone just catch you with a good slap. They just really hurt. And Madam Speaker, that is what happened to me this morning when I heard about the passing of Miss Renee Sunshine Davis, a constituent and a friend. Miss Renee Sunshine Davis, as she is called, is well known for her contribution to women's softball, having played on many national teams and still playing actively in the local leagues. She's known for her contributions in track and field and volleyball locally. She lived her life fully. She was indeed a sportsman, a great Bahamian, often depicting her nickname Sunshine as she brought life to the environment and light to others. I extend my sincerest condolences to her husband, Lloyd, her children, Dino and Tiffany, her friends, families, neighbors in the South Beach constituency, colleagues at the Ministry of Youth and Sports and Culture, and the entire Bahamas on the loss of a great Bahamian woman. May her soul rest in peace. On another note, Madam Speaker, more personally, I would like to, you gotta put this in, I know Jermaine Nabi. I'd like to extend birthday greetings to my two sons who celebrated their birthday last week. One was 22 and the other was 12. My oldest, Dionysus, he's a rising senior at Queen's University in Charlotte, North Carolina. And my youngest, Darius, who turned 12, he is completing 7th grade here at Queen's College. But I wish to extend congratulations and best wishes to my youngest, Darius, who was recently selected as a member of the 12U Bahamas national baseball team. That team will be participating in the Caribbean Baseball Cup, July 21st to the 28th, hosted by the Dominican Republic. Madam Speaker, having represented the Bahamas, me, in both baseball and basketball, there is no greater sense of pride than one can get when you put on that jersey or the uniform that represents an entire nation, Madam Speaker. And we are truly proud of Darius, and we know that Darius will do his very best. We love you, continue to do well, and excel in your field. And Madam Speaker, I'm also very delighted once again to be in this place to communicate for and to express the views of the gracious people who have loaned me their collective voice and have entrusted to me their thoughts, their hopes, their visions, dreams, and ideas to speak on their behalf in this place, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, that trust is a cross that I carry daily, fully aware of the consequences and accepting such a magnificent responsibility. It is a beacon that I use to light my path in my public life and a compass that I use to guide my decisions, my public utterances, and my persona. Madam Speaker, the good people of South Beach can rest assured in the fact that as long as they permit me, their one vote that they have entrusted to me is safe and will always be given in the direction of positive growth and development for our constituency, our community, and our country at large. Madam Speaker, I am grateful for the efforts of the tremendous team of persons that I am flanked by daily that keep me focused, honest, and committed. But most importantly, Madam Speaker, they keep me sensitive. Madam Speaker, my ultimate goal during this time in this place is to remain relevant, to be relevant enough to know the needs of my people, to be relevant enough, Madam Speaker, to know the needs of my people, to be relatable enough to understand intimately their aspirations, and to be sensitive enough to respond to those needs and aspirations in a way that shows compassion, concern, and care, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to thank my wife, Kimberly, and Team South Beach for being an unwavering support system over these near 3 years, Madam Speaker. And I know oftentimes it seems like semantics, and even to others it may seem like a cliche. But I am grateful to the people of South Beach for being my constituency. But even greater than that, Madam Speaker, I am grateful to the people of South Beach for allowing me to be their Member of Parliament. As such, Madam Speaker, I take the opportunity to remind the people of South Beach that their Member of Parliament keeps regular constituency office hours. I want to state for the record, once again, in this place, that the South Beach constituency office is located at number 39 Cowpen Road in the Sandy Marshall Building, and that the office is open daily, Monday to Friday, and constituents can meet me personally on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 3 and 8 p.m. constituents need not make appointments to meet me at the office, Madam Speaker, as it is the people's office. And my people and I treat it as such. Constituents can contact the office at 603-0005, 603-0005, or they can email me at mysouthbeach2022@gmail.com. Madam Speaker, this budget is one that all Bahamians can be proudly optimistic of, as it signifies that only after 3 years in office, this administration no longer can be described as a New Day administration, Madam Speaker, but rather, I now call it the New Era administration. And that is reflected in our monumental accomplishments over the past 34 months, Madam Speaker. I have decided to measure it in months because it keeps me close to let me and to remind me that just 34 months ago, our economy was in a collapse state, with knee-jerk lockdowns being the only health care plan, policy, or strategy being offered by those who had the power to decide our fate. And since I remember that, let me just say, through you, Madam Speaker, to the leader of Her Majesty's Loyal Opposition, congratulations on recently reclaiming or retaining the confidence of his party, and hopefully, Madam Speaker, the confidence of the member for Kalani. And I must say to him, Madam Speaker, through you, not wanting to take a poke in his absence, but I must say to him through you, Madam Speaker, that in this new incarnation of his political life, it is my hope that he remembers, that we remember, that just 34 months ago, while he did not lead the team opposite, he did ably assist with the type of policy making that led to some dark days in this country, that led to the mortgage crisis that we see in this country today. He assisted in the type of policy making that led to the largest non-attendance of school-aged children in a structured learning environment, Madam Speaker, that goes as far back as probably, I would say, slavery. Madam Speaker, through you, I am hopeful that in his new incarnation of his political life, that he remembers that 34 months ago, Madam Speaker, he assisted in the policy making that prevented Bahamians from burying their loved ones in a decent Christian manner that they are accustomed to. And that struck me, Madam Speaker, as a few weeks ago, we laid to rest the Honorable A. Loftus Roker. And while in Western Cemetery, as we were paying our final farewell to our Bahamian hero, a tear came from my eye as I remembered that my cousin, the Honorable Darrell Roll, who was the Minister of National Security during the May 10th, 1980 Flamingo incident, was not given the opportunity by this nation to be bid a grand farewell, one that he deserved, because during the time of his passing, we were not allowed to have Christian burials as we are accustomed. But a dog could be buried. My Lord. My Lord. But Madam Speaker, that was 34 months ago. That was 34 months ago, Madam Speaker. Nevertheless, since then, Madam Speaker, Whether side opposite wish to measure our success by the developments in Freeport, where the demolitions of the airport has begun, and major progress has been made on the building of a new healthcare facility in Grand Bahama, we must remember that we're not building one hospital, we're building two. And whether they want to measure our successes on the reintroduction of a successful world relays, Madam Speaker, or whether they want to measure our success on the progress at Lookout Key, at Lighthouse Point, or our expanded foreign relations, Madam Speaker, we got guests in town now, if I recall. If they wish to measure our success by our zero-tolerance approach to the removal of unregulated communities in Nassau and Abaco, or our development of a new National Youth Guard program, which, Madam Speaker, based on its targeted grouping, I am pleased to say that this is a futuristic venture that should continue yielding positive results in the years to come. Madam Speaker, whether they want to measure us on our recent policy announcements of modernizing our energy sector and our strategic plans towards energy reform, what must be agreed by all, Madam Speaker, is that in just 34 months, the New Day administration has indeed morphed into a new era administration. And we have come to change the status quo, Madam Speaker. And we are doing it holistically, Madam Speaker. We are strategically governing, all while maintaining a pronounced public face internationally, Madam Speaker. While expanding food security locally, we are getting the people-to-people governance done domestically in places like South Andros, Cat Island, and Bimini, and opening multi-purpose centers and redevelopment of new state-of-the-art airports, just as we promised 34 months ago. That is why, Madam Speaker, I can confidently stand here and proclaim that the Davis New Era administration has the perfect antidote to the bad prognosis and diagnosis and treatment that the doctor prescribed for the Bahamian people just 34 months ago. Yes. Madam Speaker, there has been and is a recovery in our fiscal status through the reduction of our deficit and reducing deficit spent by $1 billion. We are recovering, Madam Speaker, with record lows of unemployment and a debt to GDP level that was at capacity when we took office, that is now stabilizing and has been reduced to 79.9%. Madam Speaker, we are recovering. We are recovering in the area of foreign direct investment, with investments totaling over $7 billion, and with the most notable investment, Madam Speaker, since taking office being some big, I don't want to get in trouble calling these numbers, so let me just say some big tourist arrival numbers, Madam Speaker, so big that they are eclipsing what we thought or what we considered big from the years gone by. It's a new era, Madam Speaker, and while some say that these things are all natural occurrences, I say that they occurred, and it is largely because this administration doesn't only just say what it's going to do, but we are the administration of action, one that is changing the status quo, Madam Speaker, right before our very eyes. That is what good governance is. And we are seeking to do it with the greatest levels of transparency and accountability, Madam Speaker. Not because it is easy to do, Madam Speaker, but because it is necessary. It is what the people have placed their confidence in us to do, and because it is the type of government and governance that the Bahamian people deserve. Madam Speaker, I turn my attention to the Straw Market Authority. We have, in only 34 months, Madam Speaker, open markets with staggered schedules during the uncertain phases, and in our earlier days of office, we tested how well and we could safely operate, and eventually, Madam Speaker, we achieved full 7-day openings, providing reliability to the customer and, of course, sustainability to the vendors. We didn't do it because it was easy, Madam Speaker. We did it because it was worth it. When we arrived in office, Madam Speaker, we met our Nassau satellite markets in shambles. These sites themselves almost look akin to some unregulated communities, Madam Speaker. But we didn't accept that. We didn't just say the task was too difficult and that we could not focus on it at the time, because we were working on reducing debt, so we would save that until the next term in office. No, Madam Speaker, we decided to be ambitious and not arrogant. We decided that the people allowed us in this period to govern, and that is what we were going to do. And so, Madam Speaker, we decided systematically to revamp our product, and we began with the Fort Charlotte market space. Now, Madam Speaker, I invite any detractor from anywhere in the world to fly a drone above the space we have created, the straw market, the Fort Charlotte straw market site. And you could fly that drone 1,000 feet in the air, and you must still agree that what we built looks magnificent. It looks like something to be proud of. And more importantly, Madam Speaker, it looks like something that restores faith in governance and dignity to the vendor who will come to work daily to sell their ware. When we came to office, Madam Speaker, and this is what you call changing the status quo. When we came to office, Madam Speaker, that, Madam Speaker, was the Fort Charlotte market space. Hold this for me. That was the Fort Charlotte market space. That was where we sent Bahamians to work every day with dignity and pride.
That's grace.
That was the Fort Charlotte market space. 10 stalls, Madam Speaker, at that level.
Members,
Today, Madam Speaker, this is changing the status quo. This is the Fort Charlotte straw market space. Today, this government, Madam Speaker, has transformed that space into not 10 spaces. We have transformed that space from 10 spaces to 28 spaces. To 28 spaces, Madam Speaker. 28 new spaces. But not only 28 new spaces, Madam Speaker. An opportunity for 18 new families, Madam Speaker. New families to improve a better way of life. Madam Speaker, this new straw market space is expected to have a daiquiri stand, a small bandstand to help create a cultural space. Madam Speaker, we're in the final stages of completing, looking at just putting in a new drainage system and the construction of a new restroom. We're hoping that in the not too distant future, in a month or two, we should be able to officially open that market, and that Bahamian families can reap the benefits thereof. Again, Madam Speaker, even those who do not support us will find it incredibly difficult to dislike what we have done at the Fort Charlotte market space, changing the status quo. Madam Speaker, 34 months ago, we found that the Paradise Island market was what I would call an inactive relic. And in our investigations, we found, and it was suggested to us, that the allocated site at Paradise Island was a space that the vendors themselves did not even want to be in. Well, Madam Speaker, we addressed that. And what I can say on public record is, since coming to office, we have collaborated with Atlantis. We have fully revamped and remodeled the existing market, constructing brand new stalls, added a food court, and through strategic alliance and with the industry partners, the new market was improved and reopened in April of 2024. It has become now a planned stop on the many Atlanta stores and excursions, Madam Speaker, and will be joined soon by a regular Junkanoo exposition just next door in an adjoining space that we anticipate will over time become a cultural shared space for both local and international visitors right at Paradise Island, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the redevelopment of the Fort Fincastle market is scheduled to begin later this fall, as we anticipate the revamping of the water tower. We are mapping the strategy that will end in the full revitalization of that area, which, in conjunction with the newly renovated Queen Staircase, revamped tower, and fully refitted market, an experience that our guests will be provided with will be breathtaking. A breathtaking encounter with our past while allowing them access to the luxury of our friendly people and a meaningful chance to stimulate our present economy through the purchase of craft and other authentic Bahamian items. Madam Speaker, these are all very heavy undertakings, but we're excited about getting them done. Not because they're easy though, Madam Speaker, but because the Bahamian people deserve it. Madam Speaker, the crown and our jewel is our Bay Street market, better known as the world-famous Bay Street Straw Market. Has been open reopened since November of 2021, and we did so immediately after our assessment, and we decided that we could operate safely on the basis without recklessly contaminating our people or our visitors. Believe it or not, Madam Speaker, we achieved that goal rather smoothly. But we did not stop there, Madam Speaker. In keeping with the government's mandate to develop and support the handcraft industry, the Straw Market Authority's board goal was to ensure that a strategy be implemented to showcase authentic Bahamian products produced and designed by creative Bahamians across our archipelago. So we dived into our family islands. Products crafted with natural materials such as shells, seed, coconut, sisal, and many straw plots could all be displayed in an instance if we provided the perfect environment for it on every family island. As a result of the idea, and at the end of our fact-finding mission, Madam Speaker, the Straw Market Authority Board, with the government's approval, decided to bring the islands together to showcase their materials, their products, right here in Nassau for the first of its kind straw festival. Under the theme, Bridging the Islands Through the Straw Industry, the Straw Market Authority Board will host a week of straw vendors activities where we hope to bring straw vendors from the family islands, all expense paid, Madam Speaker, to Nassau to show their wares. The vendors in Nassau will have the opportunity to start the week activities with a church service on June 23rd, where over 20 outstanding and long-standing vendors will be honored. On June 29th and 30th, 2024, at our Waikiki, the vendors from the family islands will showcase their work in a two-day festival, Madam Speaker. The islands of Grand Bahama, Exuma, Cat Island, Eleuthera, Long Island, and Andros have been invited to this inaugural festival. We anticipate this will be an annual event which will continue to empower the handcrafters and other artisans economically, especially those hailing from the family islands, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I am pleased to report that from our observations, the industry appears to be alive in our family islands, and we must connect and promote these talents and the talent of our ancestry as often as we can. Madam Speaker, all of what I do with my work at the Ministry of Works, the Straw Market Authority, or any other official capacity are all realized because of one fact. The fact that the people of South Beach decided to elect Barkus Roll as their Member of Parliament. Madam Speaker, that singular fact is something I remind myself of daily. Yes, Madam Speaker, I might be the Parliamentary Secretary of the Ministry of Works, but I am Barkus Roll first. And that means that I am the person elected by the people of South Beach to represent them. So, Madam Speaker, against that backdrop, I dare not come to this place and talk about the wonderful work in Andros, Cat Island, and Grand Bahama, and do not come to speak about how we have changed and are continuing to change the status quo in South Beach. Madam Speaker, there once was a time, Madam Speaker, when navigating the roads in South Beach were likened to an Indiana Jones level adventure. I don't know if you remember, Madam Speaker, but I'm sure you remember them roads, Zion Boulevard. Potholes, endless from end to end, Madam Speaker. You remember that, Madam Speaker. I know you remember that. Exactly, Madam Speaker. And by our own admission, Madam Speaker, you know that falling into one of them, you might have unlocked a portal to an underground world somewhere. It was almost deplorable, Madam Speaker. But, Madam Speaker, we fixed that. Yes, ma'am, we fixed that, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was given the job in South Beach to be its member of parliament, you know. And that's a job, Madam Speaker, that I do not intend on getting fired from. Madam Speaker, in order to live in South Beach, the original South Beach estates, just on the eastern side of C.V. Bethel School, residents almost had to have in their back trunk like a safe boat, you know, a safe boat, or maybe a jet ski in the rainy season due to imminent floods that would occur after every downpour. Those downpours, however, Madam Speaker, would not only result in floods, but they left large holes in the road as well. And of course, Madam Speaker, the member of Parliament for South Beach heard the concerns of the constituents, partnered with the Ministry of Works, and today, Madam Speaker, I am pleased to say that we fixed that too. We fixed that, Madam Speaker, not because it was easy, but, Madam Speaker, because the Bahamian people and the people of South Beach deserved it. Yes. Madam Speaker, speed reduction humps, street signage, signage replacement, new street signs are erected, street markings, street light replacements are all being addressed simultaneously in our constituency. We have offered flood relief by the removal of standing water pumps. We are regularly involved in bulk waste removal from our constituency, with our most recent and proud accomplishment, Madam, being an expansive cleanup that you see at the tennis court right there on Zion Boulevard. I know you've seen it, Madam Speaker, where the residents who once feared to even walk that way because of the bushes, because, you know, at one time there was some nefarious action happening in those bushes. But we decided that we would clean that area up, Madam Speaker, converting it into a walking path. But, Madam Speaker, in recent days, there have been some complaints of slow garbage collections in the Summer Haven area, and I'm working actively on that to ensure that whatever the challenge is, it is rectified and the residents get to enjoy regular scheduled service because it is what they deserve, Madam Speaker. Our representation, Madam Speaker, extends not only towards the interests of our senior members in our community, Madam Speaker, but we have also tailored our representation to cater to the youth in South Beach, Madam Speaker. We have taken intentional and meaningful steps, Madam Speaker, in connecting with our schools. Madam Speaker, the I Dare You mentorship project has been started in our constituency, and the project seeks to recognize those students, Madam Speaker, who in their own small way are making steady but improved steps in their academics, in their behavior, their attendance to school, in their leadership and their overall deportment in school. The project has been implemented in Anatole Rogers High School, Bahamas Academy, C.V. Bethel, and Jordan's Prince Wills High School, Madam Speaker. Since its inception, 32 students, Madam Speaker, rising seniors, are being recognized in a pinning ceremony Beyond the pinning and recognition alone, Madam Speaker, the I Dare You project is designed to keep this future cohort together by providing mentorship, leadership, guidance, and opportunities for these young persons as they continue to navigate their journey through high school, through university, and the early stages of their adult life. It is my goal, Madam Speaker, that during my tenure in South Beach, to dare as many of these young people as possible to dream, Madam Speaker, to inspire, to make a difference, and to make positive contributions to their community and indeed this country, Madam Speaker. Additionally, Madam Speaker, my team and I have launched what we call Dream Builders. The Dream Builders program, Madam Speaker, is a three-pillar program based on the pillars of job readiness, entrepreneurship, and continuing education. This single program to date, Madam Speaker, has engaged over 150 South Beach residents between the ages of 16 and 25. The program was started February 2024 and provided opportunities for young people to gain new skills, Madam Speaker. Participants have been engaged in auto body repairs, culinary arts, nail technology, makeup application, computer and business skills. A strict adherence to the attendance policy was in place, Madam Speaker, as participants maximized the theory and practical aspects of the programs. Participants who successfully completed the course will receive in July appropriate certification certificates at graduation. Madam Speaker, you will note, or you should note, that this program is endorsed by the Ministry of Education. In line with our commitment to education, Madam Speaker, the South Beach Constituency office donated in kind up to $5,000 upgrade to Carlton E. Francis Computer Lab, Madam Speaker, in an effort to provide the students at Carlton E. Francis Primary School with the greatest access to computers. In March of 2024, we successfully donated 15 computers and upgraded 10 computers existing in the lab. The sponsorship included the refurbishment, the physical refurbishment of the computer lab itself, and extensive rewiring and other technological advances that some of our private donors assisted to help offset the cost. Madam Speaker, I know before you get curious and wonder why South Beach all the way up by Carlton E. Francis, because I know that's close to you. Madam Speaker, South Beach is at Carlton E. Francis, and I must admit that even though it is not in my constituency, Madam Speaker, its population is in my constituency. And Madam Speaker, I want to show our full support for commitment to education, not because it is easy, Madam Speaker, not because it is easy, but because the children of South Beach deserve it. Madam Speaker, never mind these small airs I got that God would have blessed me with, Madam Speaker. I could hear good. I hear very well. And I hear the cries of the constituents. I hear the cry of my constituency. I hear them because they speak loudly, Madam Speaker. They speak in some very, very funny ways. How do they speak, Madam? How do your constituents speak? Let me tell you how my constituents speak, Madam Speaker. 2012, Fenton Nemo, gone. 2017, Cleola Hamilton, gone. 2021, Jeffrey Lloyd, gone. Madam Speaker, I hear them and I listen. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my constituents have asked me to speak to the Minister of Energy and Transport, my dear colleague from Elizabeth, with regards to the possibility of a new bus route. And so we came up with this this new bus route that we believe can work. I've spoken with the minister, spoken with senior members at the Ministry of Transport, and I can tell my constituents, Madam Speaker, that we have begun discussions. Conversations will continue into July, where we will try and determine and make this whole idea of a new bus route a reality. The truth of the matter is, Madam Speaker, persons in the southern part of the constituency on Marshall Road, Pastel Gardens, Fake Gardens, if they had to catch the bus, they have to walk all the way up to Carmichael Road. That's cruel and unusual punishment, Madam Speaker. So we have to bring some relief to that. South Beach, remember this day. Remember this day that your member of parliament stood on the public record and provided proper public access to this decade-old issue will certainly add bright new era this administration is seeking to usher in. Remember that it was South Beach who said that the Davis administration isn't just a New Day administration anymore. We are now a new era administration. And I firmly believe that concerns like the access to reasonable public transportation for thousands are among the things that will signal our commitment to that, Madam Speaker. That is why South Beach is supporting this budget. That is why South Beach is so pleased to be a part of this team that is shifting the status quo. And that is why I invite the people of South Beach to remember us and how we respond to ensuring that as the Bahamian experience, as the Bahamas experiences draw to this new era, that South Beach is in the midst of that. South Beach supports, Madam Speaker. South Beach rests. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The chair recognizes the Honourable Member for Freetown.
Madam Speaker, as I think Frank Sinatra said, the end is near. No, for this debate. I rise to move the suspension to 3 p.m., at which point the member for Marcos City should take the floor.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Is there a seconder? Thank you, Honourable Members. It has been moved and seconded that the business of this House be suspended until 3 p.m. As many are in favor will remain seated. Those opposed will stand. The motion is carried. The business of this House stands suspended until 3 p.m.